Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I'm Dan, and Tom doesn't like to say the P word for girl parts.
No, I like to say it. For that particular
you like
joke.
To say it now.
No, it's not that I like to say it.
Saying it all the time.
It sounds aggressive.
It does. You're right. We were during the break. We were kicking around. We were writing. We're always writing during the breaks. Always like writing joke. I mean, just how many notebooks?
I'm writing my will. I don't know what you're writing.
How many notebooks do you have in front of you? I have like 25, 35 different
It's all
notebooks.
nonsense, though.
Yeah. Well, most of mine are drawings.
Let me ask you guys a question. So I have a garbage dilemma currently.
Yes, I love these.
I feel like
So-
this is a common problem.
Tom
here.
Fan, garbage dilemmas.
I don't know how the trash system works,
What
right?
do you mean?
I don't think anybody does.
You put it in a bag, then you go put it in a can, then you put it on the curb.
No,
You
there's.
have a day that they come pick it
You
up.
didn't see that thing. They tightened up last week.
What is it?
Like I think across the nation, garbage boys and girls are tightening up on what we can throw away. So the men and women that are out there taking care of our waste, like they got mandates to, like, you're going to start getting more notes. They're going to start being a little more particular.
Oh, but just like don't throw this away. Or
And
whatever.
I'll go with you. I'll side with you and say that I already do not know how that the trash system works, because I've tried to throw out not one, not two, not three, but 5 different Vespa batteries.
yeah, they don't let you.
They
throw
do
the
not
batteries
let
in.
me throw out the batteries, but I don't understand why, because it's trash.
Yeah, but it turns the landfills like toxic and bad. Or
Well,
whatever.
but they're the. And look, I'm not saying this to be an idiot, and I'm not saying this to be rude, but they're the trash men and women that come to my house. Could one of them at least tell me where I should go?
I think you can check the website.
I don't want to check the website.
You have to go to the
But
place.
do you understand what I'm saying? Like, people come to me, they're like, "You're the podcast guy. Tell me about the podcast stuff." And I tell them. I feel like somebody should tell me, like, or they should take the battery and just say, like, we'll make sure it doesn't just stay in the landfill.
It's not their job to educate you. They just take your trash.
Yeah, but obviously not, because that's trash and they're not taking it.
You have to throw it in the McDonald's drive-through trash can. Everybody does that. That's what everybody does there. And
Big battery special.
Hold on, I gotta write this down under genius ideas. Leave Vespa scooter batteries.
and my favorite part about
You mean the one that comes out like near your window? So fat people can still reach it. It used to be just a can that didn't have the fat extender on it. Now it's got the little arm extender for basically people like me. You know, when I was 35 pounds heavier, it was nice to have the adapter come to my window so I could throw away my Nuggie box.
And my favorite part about that McDonald's drive-through trash can is it's stuffed to the brim with McDonald's.
Yeah.
So you're like, wait a minute, you just got your food. Why is it? But no,
that's efficiency. You
that's
take
from
out
the day
yesterday.
before. Yes. It's stuffed to the brim with yesterday's McDonald's, which is sad for everybody, including McDonald's. And it's so stuffed to the brim that people
I have to take my glasses off. I'm crying.
people just then put their old Nuggie boxes on top.
That's what I do at my house.
Which, if you put
I do
your
that at my
old-
house, and
your-
my wife gets so mad at me. I won't put trash in the trash.
Yeah, you can't.
Okay, we have a.
You guys do that here.
We have.
Yeah, I
okay,
know, I know.
look, you don't talk about what we do here. I have to hear this at home. Here, I just prefer if you just do your job and keep your goddamn mouth shut. Okay, I don't want to do the thing that I do with my wife, where she gets a free say and she tells me everything and I'm wrong. I would appreciate it, Sam, if you would just turn a blind eye.
Here's our safe space.
And I'm saying this as your friend and somebody who admires you greatly. Just keep your goddamn mouth shut.
All right, then I won't start. I'll stop throwing away your stuff for you guys, and then we'll just live in a trash pile.
I'll just put the trash in my Nuggie box on top and then hope someone else will handle it.
Okay, I do that at home, Sam. You
guys are grown men.
I don't talk to Dan. I have to take out the trash.
Talk to Doug.
I'm the trash man.
He goes,
That's
talk
Daniel.
to talk to
He doesn't have enough energy to say the whole sentence.
I mean,
He doesn't know my
Daniel's
full
got the
name.
pain in the ass of having to walk downstairs to take his trash out. That stinks. Like all
I
I have
usually
to do
kick
is
it. I kick it down the trash.
10 feet out my side garage door.
And you know what always happens? And you know it's my fault. You know what always happens? I wait till the trash gets overstuffed because I put trash on the top. and then my wife puts it in the trash, and then I do that move where you take a closed fist and you put it on whatever box is on the top of the trash.
Yeah.
Squish it down.
And like
Hulk smash
Thor
it.
or Iron Man, you push as hard as you can down, and then you put the trash on top, only to have an accordion poof back up and spill out. So then I take the trash, I get the bag, and then I go to take it out, and there's always a hole in the bottom of it.
Oh, man.
And then 4-day-old lukewarm lime White Claw, because I don't recycle after everybody told
You
me.
don't pour it out before you throw it in the trash.
Well, there's a little bit on the sides because I drink them fast, and it collects on the sides, and then the viscosity, it thins out and it collects in the bottom. But I don't recycle anymore because everybody told me that recycling, you separate it, right? Mm-hmm. Then they put it into the can, and then they just drive to the dump and put it where the trash is. That's what I was told.
I've
So I don't do it anymore.
Well, just do the aluminum cans. Apparently the plastics and the
Cardboard.
paper
It's
doesn't
too
do
hard.
nothing.
It's
so,
too hard.
but the best time in my trash life was
Wait a minute.
Hold on,
Are you
write
calling
this
your
down.
life trash, or are you
Yes.
talking about trash in your
Both.
life? Okay.
But in the
He
actual
played Jordan
garbage,
Catalano on My Trash Life.
yeah, and my relationship to garbage life was in college, where me and the Grizz decided that we were just gonna in our kitchen put a big brute
Yes.
trash can
You
with
put a big
with
one.
a jumbo leaf bag.
Oh, it's like at the
Yeah.
at the high school cafeteria.
Yes,
Yeah.
And
over
the
it, and
big
then-
American, like Captain America shield cover, like the big topper on
Oh,
the top.
no cover. We
No
just
cover.
open trash.
No, you gotta have a cover on it
Ooh.
for the flies, man.
Well, because we would fit so much trash in there before we'd have to take it out.
You
that
could put Baloney Andy in there on a drunk night.
yeah, but now, because my wife wants to be fancy or whatnot, we have to have the in the cabinet trash can and a tiny.
Can't put anything in there.
we
My
have
mom had that.
A trash can the size of someone's cubicle, like office space.
Yeah.
Single trash
I
can.
clowned my mom about it. You couldn't put a textbook in there.
Yeah.
You couldn't put
Yeah.
like a kid's high school textbook in there. The trash can.
I'm
first of
taking
all,
out
it's a
twice a
rectangle.
day.
It's a rectangle like that big.
Yeah.
And then the drawer, you pull it out. Like you can put a can of beans in there only if you do it vertical.
yeah, it's stupid. And then I'm like, I'm taking this damn trash out twice a day.
100% with you. You know, we have tiny closet, and then we have one of those
Yeah, I've seen
real
it.
simple,
Yeah.
like foot trash cans.
Yeah.
But the foot thing, it just decides when it wants to work occasionally. That's why I put the trash on the top.
You know what we need? You know what you need for sure.
Oh, you don't tell me what I need. I'll tell you what you need.
You know, in like apartment buildings, I
We've
always
had this conversation.
Ooh, a
Yeah, I
dumb
know, yeah.
waiter?
We've always talked. Yeah,
A dumb waiter.
yeah,
No,
but
I'll just kick
What's
the
That's the
screens
13th
out.
subject now we're piling on.
No, this is what I do. I'll kick my screens out. My neighbors will love it. I'll just raise the window and throw the trash out.
Oh, it's you know what? Like Kevin from Home Alone 2 slides down that window chute. You know that construction.
Oh, when you're tearing out.
Yeah. You need one of those.
Isn't that
trash.
just a series of bottomless buckets that have been connected?
Yeah.
It's bottomless buckets. It's like a series of bottomless buckets where
The
they
trash slide.
They line them up.
Anyway, here's my trash problem.
Okay.
So.
This is a dump problem, right?
Yeah.
Dump dilemma, you said.
Dump dilemma.
So some things, for instance, when I panicked and I was cleaning out the storage unit, I had to take the damn reindeer and all the stuff out, right? So
yeah, Tom has broken animatronic reindeer in our storage unit.
And then
Am I still paying half of the bill for the storage unit?
No, yeah. Okay. I got all the stuff out. Well, not all of it, but
It's
most
fine.
of it.
Are you going to reimburse me for the...
I got some camping stuff.
Yeah,
Anyway.
okay, yeah.
But anyway, so I got the reindeer out, and I just put that next to the trash one day, hoping they'd take it.
Oh, festive.
And they took it, right? So I was like, oh, yes, because sometimes, like one time, I had a bunch of boxes.
Who took it?
I don't know. They're trash fairies. Like that.
Trash
fairies.
Yeah, like I just set
They
it
don't
out
have
there.
the Tooth Fairy at Castleberry.
And and then sometimes, like I put a couch out there one time, and that got taken, and I thought I had to call like large item
depends.
pickup.
It depends
call
on your
large.
neighborhood. Sometimes you do have to call for large disposal. Sometimes it's just a day designated for large disposal.
Yeah.
But also Castleberry, someone just might have picked it up.
So,
Curb
like,
alert.
this goes back to my original point, and you guys
Well,
looked
the
at me
pickup the
like I
metal.
was insane. But there needs to be some standard rules here. Where's the standardized?
It's on the website.
No, I don't. It's all different though. Seminole County, Orange County. It's all like I
Yeah, you
want
have to pick your county.
standard trash rules.
Also, here's a little Tom Van tip. You could tell how fancy your neighborhood is by how long metal will last in your trash area in front of your house. Like, if it's out there hours and it gone, that's the worst neighborhood. You know, like the better the neighborhood, the longer you could leave metal near your trash can. Okay. And that determines how fancy.
Now behind us, there was a seemingly brand new office chair that sat and got rained on for weeks.
Yeah.
And no one took it.
Yeah, that's
because rich people will assume that someone like died in that chair or it has like bad mojo. They're really into feng shui.
Rich people don't take other people's garbage.
They don't get used stuff.
Yeah, they don't want that rained on chair.
Back when I lived in Heroin Alley, I remember I put a 2-seater bicycle out. It didn't have any seats, and it was a
2-seater non-seated bicycle.
Wow.
I saw someone with 2 kids riding down the street in literally 15 minutes. Like it was, I didn't even get back in the house before someone took it. Anyway. So here's my problem.
Wait a minute. Am I the trash person in my neighborhood because I just got a bike out of the trash?
Yeah, well, you're new.
You don't put it out. You don't put it out.
You're still used to your old neighborhood, so you're still picking other people's trash.
You're still in I feel like almost like a honeymoon phase right now. You're allowed.
Soon you'll be too good for that.
Well, there's a transitional phase that you're in right now. You're fine.
So here's the problem I have. A while back, 10 years ago, my wife bought. And you'll know what I'm talking about because it's a popular item at IKEA.
The Legend of the Monkey's Paw.
The IKEA cheapo glass case, their display case.
Oh, yeah. Everybody puts their Funko Pops in.
Yes. The Funko Pop case. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the only thing it's for, by the way. And if you have one of these and you have Funko Pops in it, you should go lay in the road.
Yeah, it's all glass, like a giant rectangle.
Guess who has 2 of them?
Yeah, no, I see.
Yeah,
the Funko Pop.
Yeah, they're for her little vinyl toys she used to collect back in the day. Now it's up in her Peloton
It's like
room.
a glass display case, right?
Yeah.
So,
what do you have it for?
Well, Crystal bought it for her turtles. Remember when she went through the collecting?
You shouldn't have laughed at that. That was mean.
You were like,
her turtles.
Okay, stupid.
Wait. Live turtles?
No.
Oh.
She collects a different turtle from every different place she's visited.
Okay.
I've actually gifted her a few turtles for her collection. I think it's kind of cool.
Oh,
this guy hates fun.
Yeah, it's because I knew this was going to be the inevitability of this, where she stores all the turtles in some shoebox and then punts this glass display case, and the shoebox will end up in the attic one day. And one day after we die, our kids will punt them in the trash.
The turtles don't, because the turtles don't fit the aesthetic of the really nice redone home, right? Like you guys. Just,
I don't know.
I'm just guessing that like your house looks awesome right now. So I'm just guessing the turtles don't really fit the decor anymore. Is that why they got? Are they gone?
I have no idea. She just decided she doesn't want this glass case anymore.
Give it to somebody.
Turtles. Well, this is the problem. So now she takes the turtles out.
Put motorcycle helmets in it, like I do. Classy.
She puts them in boxes, which she says, "I will display these in the future," and then I know that's not the case.
Well, she's waiting for like the space future with like spaceships and
these
stuff.
turtles will be punted in the landfill after we're dead by our sons. Like for sure.
That's what I did with all my mom's stuff, by the way.
Yeah, I know. That's what happens to everybody's stuff.
Oddly enough, she had a turtle collection.
Look at all your personal garbage and just realize your kids or whoever, your family members will punt it in the trash after you die. Mm-hmm. So anyway, she puts all the stuff in the boxes, and now we have this big-ass glass display case, which is hard to move, by the way, because it's so fragile. And at any second, it will explode into 1,000 shards.
It's clunky, it's clunky.
So we move it out into the garbage area. I have this little, you've seen it before.
The living room.
It's in the front of everybody has.
It's like the mud room, like where you go and you hang your coat, take your shoes off. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about where I put my garbage cans in the front of my house. Everybody has the designated, it's usually to the front right of your property where you keep, you don't have a house.
My trash cans are in my garage.
Well, you live in a townhouse. I'm thinking from the most Floridians that live in a single family home. The front right of your driveway or front right of your property. Is that where you
put the cans out for the guys?
Yeah. All right. But that's your designated garbage area. You also put any other garbage that you hope and you gamble that they'll take away.
Curbside.
So I'm like, what's the chances that the garbage men take this glass thing? Because this seems like a pain in the ass because like what are they going to do? Like gingerly take it over to the back of the truck and then it'll shatter into 1,000 pieces as soon as you throw it in the back there, right? So I'm imagining this is the worst possible thing to put near the garbage area because they don't want to do it. Like cardboard boxes.
That's very thoughtful of you.
Well,
it is because I probably just would have pulled it out there and said like,
yeah, I don't care if they want to do it or not.
Yeah, I probably would have pulled it out there and just said like, go at it, boys, or don't care.
Yeah.
Well, if they don't take it, now it's my problem again. Which
you're trying to get ahead of it.
Leave it out there a few days, see if someone takes
Tom
it.
likes to try.
Well, yeah. First, the Castleberry area people, hopefully they'll come by, but they usually just take metal.
And I do think in an attempt to better yourself, I think you use critical thinking to try and get in front of products that might slow you down later. I do think you do that. So you're trying to get ahead of this by thinking, they're not going to do it anyway. I'm going to leave it in my garage, or I got to figure out something else to do.
Well, I put it by there just in case they, like a guy is having a good day.
But you didn't think they're going to do it.
No, and they didn't.
Okay.
So they left it.
Did they leave you a note or anything?
No. They just, by them leaving it, it told me, take this damn thing to landfill yourself, you idiot.
Or it could have not been large pickup day and you didn't know. If you leave it there tomorrow, they might pick it up. You got to look up. What are you in, Orange County or
Don't
Seminole
look
County?
it up.
I don't know.
Don't look it up. Be like me.
I've been there. It's been out there for a week. So
Don't look it up. Be like me
and
and wait for them to tell you.
So now I have to load it in the back of my truck or do something and take it over to the dump. Yeah, it's going to smash.
Well,
I don't know.
Your Stony Baloney brother here has a lot of things to display. Why don't you see if he wanted it?
Yeah, he could put some of his Star Wars crap in it.
Here, well, moving the damn thing is nearly impossible without it exploding
into.
Can
you take it apart?
It's hard. You need the little tool, and then it's got these Allen wrenches. You pull off, and then the whole top.
Cheapo things made of glass are not practical at all.
I would say don't do it. It's the cheapest glass, the cheapest.
I had Crystal put it on Craigslist for free, hoping, but nobody wants it. Yeah, because it's a cheapo. Buying it new.
Put it in the BDM nerd group.
They don't want it.
It'd be
Those
easier
nerds
to
want
just buy a new one.
Yeah, to go in IKEA, I think they're under $100. Like it's so cheap,
like $70.
Yeah, so
I would not pay $70 for that. I'd pick it up from you,
but
if I needed it.
But moving it is an insane endeavor because it's already put together, and then you'd have to somehow you can't move it straight up and down. You have to lay it down.
I don't think you can.
It doesn't fit in the back of a regular car. The thing is insanely impractical to move.
If you remember correctly, I believe you and I both have a story where we tried to put these together alone, and it's a 2-person job. Do you remember that? This was like earlier on in our podcast.
Would it
when
be
we first started?
Because I'm looking at 2 ways. I could load it into my back of my truck gingerly with me and Crystal, drive it. Hopefully it doesn't shatter as I drive it to the landfill. Take it out there and then smash it into the landfill giant garbage cans they have there, or I could just smash it
into a trash can.
Yeah, put it into a trash can, smash it down.
Smash it to the bottom.
Yeah.
You got to get the hammer in.
So there's just like a trash can filled with glass.
Or
is that the best way?
There's one other way you could do
I've been looking at this thing and I'm like, why do I do it?
The only other thing I can think of is that you could try to put it in the back of your truck. Don't worry about it falling apart, but put a broom back there. Let it fall apart.
Okay, then
and
sweep
then drive
it
way out in the middle of the woods or somebody's property that you don't care. I'll go with you. We'll do it fast.
I'll take it to the landfill. It's just it seems like, my God, this is a lot.
I got your solution.
I mean, I'll just
smash it in your driveway, right? Then you get your shop vac, you suck it up, you put it all in a bag, then put it in your trash can.
Oh my God, that's a lot of work.
That's not that bad.
That's a lot of work.
Smash it in his truck, not the driveway.
Then I got shards of glass everywhere, and then my
boys.
Vacuum it up. Yeah, but you
keep it contained, man.
Now the little ones, they get everywhere.
Yeah. And then my boys are running on that barefoot. Then they got glass on their feet.
Get some goddamn shoes on your kids.
No, they like barefoot. Because again, back to trash. Anyway, so
I will help you.
This is my new problem. Okay,
I will help you do this, but I think we need. First of all, we're not going to the dump too far. We're just going to need to dump it on this, the side of the road or something. We're just going to have to do it fast.
Well,
we'll just spread the trash wherever. It's just glass. It'll go in the dirt. It'll get rained on.
Okay, there's some woods near my house.
I put everything in the woods. I put everything in the woods.
There was a better time where you used to be able to drive to the woods and just throw.
I do that with everything. Like anything I have that, like these batteries, like I've buried them around Baldwin. Like in little, I'll see a flower bed. I'll just just dig a small hole. I'll kick a hole with my foot, put the battery in there. Who's gonna walk around and be like, let's do forensics on that battery. We gotta stop the battery guy. Nobody's
called the Dufresne.
Yeah,
you just wander around and you shake the battery out of your.
We have someone in the Twitch chat that is asking what color is the non-glass part. He'll take it for nerd stuff. They don't have it in stock at IKEA right now.
All right,
what color is
come by my house.
You can paint it any color you want.
That's true.
Listen,
Don't be lazy.
I'm not telling you the color. You have to come by and then.
Oh, surprise color.
Yeah,
you can paint it whatever you want.
You have to get this guy to say they're going to get it. That's what I'm saying. They can paint it. Don't
Put
be
it
lazy.
in writing.
Just email me. I'll give you my address. Go by and get it. I just never want to see it again.
And I never want to see you again.
Anyway, that's it.
Okay.
I solved my problem.
Well, what good is the dump if they start making everything like
non-dumpable?
Yeah. Like, and again with the trash thing, I know I'm being really stupid, but there is a part of me that says it would be a lot more helpful if you just put a note on there that said, take your battery to this place. I mean, all right, I could do that, but I don't want to get on the website. I don't want to look it up. I want someone to tell me to do it, and I know I'm normally not like that, but in this case, I am for some reason.
Have we reached a point in America where not even the people that, like, okay, so I was cleaning out Tommy and Max's toy room, and they got like a bunch of PJ Masks toys, right? Like plastic play set to plastic figures, all this, like,
action figures,
like, a bag of action figure, like PJ Masks and all the characters, and then like all the cars and stuff that they used to like a couple years ago, right? Yeah. So I got all this stuff. I'm like, man, who, like, I'm just gonna take it to Goodwill and then let them deal with it. But I'm like, there's not like. There used to be, I feel, like an orphanage or some sort of like people that would appreciate like some sort of school, like underfunded school, but I feel like there's so much plastic garbage toys that they have their
it's easier for them to buy new plastic garbage than it is to get your old garbage.
Or they have so much that it's like we don't need it anymore, right? It's like, are they dying for PJ Masks? I feels like they're not, right?
No.
And it feels like nobody in the world is even doing that. Like you couldn't send this. It used to be like my friends would bring stuff back to Venezuela because they were like, oh man, the schools really love this stuff. But I feel like even now we're such a consumer society and we buy so much cheap plastic garbage that the whole world is overrun with cheap plastic Chinese garbage.
Like early children type stuff, like your not necessarily toys, but things that kids need, like high chairs, beds, cribs, stuff like that. Yeah, you can get rid of that stuff all day long.
Well, that's like
toys.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I don't think anybody wants any of. Like, we throw a lot of stuff out.
But I feel bad. Like, I don't want it to end up in a landfill because I'm like, this is good.
You got to burn it. Put that black smoke in the air.
I'm like, this is good toys, but I just feel like there's no need for them.
Maybe try and find a shelter or something that has families in need.
I don't think they need that stuff.
You don't know. You haven't asked.
Well,
you're just assuming.
I'm assuming, but from what I've heard, there's a lot of people that need like socks and brand new shoes and maybe you know what I'm saying? Like
although if I wanted PJ Masks and you gave me socks, I'd be pretty pissed off.
But there's a reason like all the toy drives, they ask for toys in boxes, not used toys anymore.
They want unwrapped toys. Yeah.
So and it's
they don't want someone to bring dirty teddy bears. I'm sure some things have happened where people brought gross stuff there.
Yeah, but they don't even make the stipulation of like, hey, if you got like clean toys but
a
out of the box,
toy.
but it's like they want new unwrapped. So that kind of tells me that they have their fill of used toys everywhere, right?
They also say new unwrapped.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I think because they want to see what you bought, and if you bought like.
Well, they don't want you to
John. They're going to be like,
bring like a Fair Villa toy and wrap it up and then give it to a kid either.
All I'm saying is like, is there a better place, a place that could use it more than Goodwill? Because I've got a bunch. I've got a Coco guitar that from the movie Coco.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Ice-T's wife.
No,
I was like, Coco, Ice-T's wife?
And it works perfect, or like a big-ass Maui action figure that's like 17 inches tall and like two Maui hooks. You can
totally donate that stuff.
I know, but I'm saying, is there a place that could, because Goodwill is just going to resell it, right? They just, that's all they do, and that's fine. And
maybe
like
find
a
church or a shelter, yes.
Are they in need of that stuff?
Well,
I'll Google it for you because apparently you don't want to do the work.
Some might be.
I feel like
some might be.
They're like, don't bring us your plastic garbage toys. Because
I'm on a local website right here for a church, and it says exactly that. Don't bring us your garbage.
There's a place called Second Chance Toys that you donate your old toys to.
Do they resell it?
Let's see.
Because there's a lot of those. Yeah, I understand that.
Well,
like,
I mean,
you could.
You want to like help.
Yeah, like I'm wondering. I'd like for some orphans to play with the PJ Masks toys and be like, "Oh my god, the whole set, it's awesome." But I just don't know.
Right.
Like I feel that those places get a ton of donations, so much so it's kind of like, a lot of businesses have made.
Brock brings up a good point. He says, "Have you tried emailing literally anyone?"
No, of course not. I'm trying to do
Brock,
all this.
shut up.
I'm trying to have you guys do the
Brock,
basic
come on.
work.
What are you doing?
But the company Tom's, like a story came out with them about their whole platform is like buy a pair of shoes and we'll donate a pair of shoes. And the story came out that like where they're donating the shoes or like they're in Africa, they're like, we don't need your shoes, please don't, because you're ruining our shoe market over here, so people can't make money selling shoes. We need clean water, food,
it's like invasive
vaccination.
Shoes, right?
Like there's other things we need more than shoes at this place.
So
right?
Toys for Tots actually does take used toys as long as they're in great shape. You just have to go to their Toys for Tots website and check that out. Ronald McDonald House actually takes used toys. You just got to find your local chapter.
That guy's rich. Why does he need more toys? That's ridiculous.
Loving Hugs or Stuffed Animals. Those are two different charities, Loving Hugs and Stuffed Animals for Emergencies.
Not to be confused with Loving
can...
Hut, which is a strange place to eat.
Yeah,
I like it, but man,
it's still shut
There's
down?
plenty of places. Churches,
Church's Fried Chicken.
nurseries.
Do they need it?
You'd have to call them and ask. You'd have to be like,
you'd have to ask
hello,
specific
this is Tom
ones.
Bryan. Do you need it?
Because I understand they'll take it, but I don't want to burden them.
It might
with
be more work.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I've talked to charities before, and they're like, yeah, we get a lot of. It's like the homeless. Like you try to give them a bag of McDonald's, they'll spit in your face. Yeah. Like technically, they say they have the sign that says "I'm hungry," but they just want cold hard cash. That's all they want, right? They don't want the food. So it's like
they want
don't
the drugs, and the cash gets the drugs.
Yeah. So it's like these churches, these organizations are like, we want the cash. We don't want your stinking bag of McDonald's.
Well, what you should do then technically is take the toys. Collectively take a photo of it for these collectors or people that buy this stuff. Say, look, you can get all this stuff for $100. They give you the $100, then take the $100, give it to the church, and then then you've done the good. But that's gonna be a lot of work.
I'm just taking the goodwill. That's.
I just do what I do. Trash bags. There's trash bags and bye.
I just named
landfill.
Like 5
no, not the
charities.
landfill.
Yeah,
no, that's
landfill.
I can't. Yeah. I can't take it to landfill. I hate.
Well, I mean, like a lot of these churches that you donated to will be like, well, where's this bag? Another guy came by with a bunch of PJ Masks. We already have PJ Masks stuff. Just throw it in the landfill.
Yeah, that's what I don't want.
But then it's gonna be on them, not you. So your conscience is clean.
Speaking of that, Crystal.
How many times have you known your wife? My wife does this. She'll be like, "Oh, and I picked. They were throwing it out, and I got this," and then she'll never use it, and we throw it away.
Yeah.
House of New Hope. They are in need of toy donations. Orlando Union Rescue Mission is in need of toys. One Heart for Women and Children is in need of toys.
It's not going to be.
Do they say unwrapped new toys, or do they say
used toys are fine.
Okay.
They just can't be disgusting.
All right.
Are any of your toys disgusting?
No, they're all brand new. Like honest, like to the point where I'm miserable giving these away because I'm like, this is. I mean, it's probably it's $1,000 of toys.
I finally got rid of all the Beanie Babies that my mom had.
Oh yeah.
Given me and thought that that Maisie would like them. Remember the ones that were smoky? I finally yesterday I believe I punted the last one. It was Peter Pan. I punted his ass right in the trash can. I'm like, get out of here. That chapter's closed.
It's
only took me like 7 years to get rid of thousands of smoky Beanie Babies that had come from some old lady's house.
There's gonna be some sort of future human that how like you dig through the earth and
archaeologists the layers of shells where the native people of the area had consumed a ton of oysters here.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Or you see where like an extinction event happened because there's no more life, and like this layer, you're like, oh, that's when the whole life died off of Earth. You know what I'm saying?
Plastic.
And there's gonna be some sort of plastic layer that we're like, oh yeah, that's in.
Well, it's the last layer. I feel like
when the humans started just making a ridiculous amount of plastic that never biodegrades, and they essed up their entire world with plastic. That's going to be some layer, and then there's like a nuclear waste layer, and then some like where we figured out how to live cohesively with the Earth and not ruin it. but we'll look back at this time and be like, God, what a bunch of idiots.
Are there any good or decent websites that will? Because I feel like somebody should have already capitalized on this. Are there any websites that will sort of guide Tom in what toys are? Do we have the poop flies again?
No, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they're always here now. I just live in harmony with them.
Well, it's a trash pile in here because you guys don't throw your trash
well, Tom
away.
brought all those toys here, and I brought my Vespa batteries. They're all out back. No, I was going to say, has anybody capitalized on this yet? In that there should be a website where it kind of gives you a basic guideline of the type of things that are popular or would still be good. Because that's what I don't know. It's almost like toy trends or like, you know what I mean? Like, or do you know even the inner workings of every toy to know if it's broken or if you have all the pieces? Or, you know what I mean? Like,
no, but Crystal's big into that where, like, she doesn't like to donate a toy unless every single piece is together.
Yep.
And then also she was, like, bagging the characters of PJ Masks in individual bags because we have multiple geckos. Like, you know, there's 5 different geckos.
Well, he was the kid's favorite, right? Didn't the gecko was the guy they loved?
Well, throughout the years of them liking PJ Masks, for their birthday parties, people were getting them sets where they have matching.
Ones.
Yeah,
there's
matching.
pirates, and then there's fire. Yeah.
So then, anyway, Crystal was like putting individual tiny sandwich bags with all the characters, but one set of each character. And then she's like, "This is so that when they donate this to a needy family, they have one set each." And then I'm like, they don't do that.
No.
But I'm like, you're making this up in your head.
I mean, it's good that she did that.
But they're just punting all this in one bin to either sell at Goodwill or whatever. Like, they're not. I don't think they're taking the time to individually package it out so every family gets their own set of PJ Masks.
I think the family normally picks the stuff out, right? Or
I don't even know how it works. Like, and then it's Goodwill. Like, if they don't resell it, do they punt it in the trash? Do they donate it to a third tier?
No, they'll ship it over to their clearance center.
Yeah, but I think it okay. Here's what
eventually gets to the trash.
Yeah,
right?
eventually I think you do whittle down to like I don't know, like a paperclip or lint or something, right? Like you will get to an end where they'll be like, well, we don't want that. That's the trash.
Or then do they donate it to like a third world? I don't think they do. It's like it's a company, so it's just
that costs them money, right?
Like it's it's a nonprofit that employs people that are they do give jobs in the community. That's basically what they do, which is fine because
and all the money supposedly goes back into the program.
To support
I think you're making this a lot harder than it has to be. You can donate toys to a million places around town.
All right. I'm skeptical.
Why?
Because everybody seems to.
And why do you care what happens to it after you get rid of it?
But I know what he means. It's like all these resale places that say they'll take your clothes. And then you go there with like decent stuff, and then they'll be like, like nice stuff, and they'll be like, oh no, we can't do anything with that. Like it's weird.
I never talk to anybody when I donate stuff.
Yeah, I guess
I have them come pick it up from my house. Actually, way convenient.
And most likely, I'll do what everybody does: is that I'll put it on the doorstep of Goodwill and run away, and then rid
like it's a bag of dog ass.
Then rid my mind,
light it on fire, and run away, ring the doorbell,
and then convince myself I'm a good person, and there's going to be orphans playing with these toys, which it's just some fantasy in my head or whatever.
I know,
but if there was some. Even like, okay, we got some new patio furniture. We have these, we had basically those 2 chaise lounges from IKEA too that we had in our corner.
The ones that are growing mushrooms on?
Yeah. And then wood fungus. And then some other IKEA piece of patio furniture. It's all good. It has wood fungus, but it's not broken or anything.
Yeah, you just have to mow it before you sit on it.
But I put it out in the front, and some lady with a baby that's our neighbor came by and
this fungus is perfect for my baby.
She rang the doorbell. She's like, I was at IKEA the other day. I was going to buy this. Are you throwing it away? I'll take it. And they were like, yes, but it's got wood fungus, blah, blah.
Don't tell her that. Say, yes, I am throwing it away. It's fungus free.
And then she's like, whatever. I was going to sand it and paint it anyway, so it's fine. And then I'm like, great. I'll put it in the back of my truck and take it to your house. Because she's like,
I've seen that porno.
No. And then it made me, I was like, great, because I thought that either garbage people were going to take it or I was going to have to take it to the dump. I'd rather the neighbor have it, and it does make you feel better that someone's using your stuff rather than it getting punted in the trash.
100%, man.
That's all I'm saying. Like, there's a value into me knowing that someone's using this stuff and not going to landfill, because I have a problem with just throwing away so much garbage. Like, I'm like, God, we're doing so. Like, this is a poor job. Yeah. Like, why are we consuming so much of this stuff? And like the Rob Greenfields of the world, I'm like, man, you have no footprint, and we have this gigantic garbage footprint.
You'll never know what it's like to have a chaise lounge that has wood fungus.
I have the American Red Cross donation thing right here. I can schedule a pickup right now to your house. They come pick it up from you.
And that would make Sam your personal assistant. That's awesome.
Yeah.
They take gently used toys and games.
Dude, she's going to set it up for you right now, dude.
No,
and then when Crystal asks, I
sick
thought that would
complaining about he doesn't know where to donate, and I've named a million places.
But then Crystal asks, say you set it up at work.
But she...
Yeah, and then you can get a Heroes BJ out of it.
No. You got the best producer on the planet.
No, this would be yelled at.
Why?
Because there's also she didn't get a chance to look through all the bags.
Well, that's a whole different
thing.
That's sickness or something.
There's a lot of mental illness.
Well, Sam's trying to get you.
All mental illness.
All I heard was bye-bye toys and hello BJ.
Yeah.
No hello BJ. Anyway, I'll just complain about it.
You're just driving me insane. Okay.
So we got to the end, and Sam's like, I'll take care of this for you. You're like, I don't know.
Garage filled.
I don't know if I want to.
Ask for help, then doesn't want the help. Got it.
Yeah. That's the American way.
It really is. I mean, like, what have we learned here? Everything. This is what everybody does.
I've learned that people get mad if you try to help them.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I like to do, too. If you try to help me, I'll get mad at you. And
How dare you try and help
anybody
me?
that I start paying for things, they're like, I'll get this MF. And then they just start.
Sam.
Melissa did it. Ever since we started paying Melissa for videos, they're all clowning me. And they just some of them are just an entire clown for no. Like, it's not even part of the show. It's like, look at this idiot doing karate. I'm just going to make a video of her. And I'm like, God damn. Like,
we're paying her for that.
All I did is like, hey, I think I can get you paid for this. And they get mad. And it happens to everybody.
And now do you
Brian Micah's all his songs are about ragging on me.
Do you see the error of your ways now? Because Sam tried to get you help you help your
but
wife.
You're
like, I'm going to get you. I'll get you, Sam.
Yeah, you trying to help me? Anyway. Bye-bye. All right.
And let's jump into some voicemail messages.
All right.
Let's try... Oh, man, this guy left a bunch of them, but we'll try these two. Here we go.
Tom, just heard you talking about For All of Mankind on Apple TV. There's another show on that TV which I find to be the #1 original content of 2019. Sci-fi, you should check it out. It's called See, S-E-E. Main actor is Jason Momoa, so the wife will like it. A little bit more sci-fi for you, but the final episode has a physical altercation that is by far the most brutal thing I think I've seen in a while, only because it's realistic and it made me cringe, which takes a lot to do.
I don't want to see that.
Enjoy.
It's called See?
S-E-E, I guess.
That other show that we've been watching, I don't want to give any spoilers, but
what are you watching?
It was that thing on Apple TV about the moon,
yes,
moon
that's right,
landing,
yeah.
and
if they
alternate, timeline. If the Russians got there first, and it's all about that, and the NASA and the space industry in the '60s or whatever. Anyway, it takes a turn. And I'm like, I don't need this in my life. Like, where it's a stressful or like...
Well, that's what I've been saying to you guys watching all these stressful shows all the time. Now you're just getting where I'm at.
Well, this one is like, just hit home for me. And I was like, I don't want to watch this. Like, I don't need this. It's depressing. And I got mad at it. And then Chris was like, go somewhere else then. I'm
you
watching
little baby. Yeah, that's what everybody says to me. When my wife's in there watching, she's like, I've only got 3 more episodes of what's the one? Gilead. I got 3 more episodes of Where the World's Going.
That's coming back out.
Yeah, I saw. And I watched some behind-the-scenes stuff. And then my wife will watch that. I'll be like, is it possible we can watch like Lawrence Welk or America's Funniest Home Videos?
See, that's the stuff my husband loves.
Oh, it's too heavy, man.
I feel like...
Butler crying.
it's especially with like this event coming up, like I'm so stressed.
Yeah.
I don't need some other stressor,
Edginess.
like, or just like some depressing thing where I'm like, oh my God, I don't even want to think about that. Like, who needs this? I feel like if you didn't have that much stress in your life or drama, or like you're looking for some like a way to peak your emotions, then you want that. But
your wife has a tendency to gravitate towards heavier watches, right?
Is that a stereotypical female thing?
I think it is. My wife watches heavier stuff than I do. I like cartoons and stuff.
Like,
and you know that. You guys make fun of what I watch. I watch like a baby.
So like the murder show, like there's a thing.
Well, women are more in touch with their emotions typically, right?
So
maybe that's why. I don't know.
That seems logical.
Bitches.
But it's like everybody, I hear all these comedians talk about like, oh, my wife likes murder shows. These podcasts seem like they trend more towards
females,
a female demographic.
Andrea loves Autopsy, and she loves those like rescue shows
the
where
2020
people's arms are hanging off.
I Survived, yeah.
The Who's Done It, the murder mysteries, the mom.
But then she watches
kills
corny
the
ass stuff
family.
like Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. You know?
But to me, I'm like, that's too heavy. Like, I don't want to see how some, mom went nuts and then, like, killed the family or the father. It's like all this stuff. Like, oh my God. Like, I don't want to look at it. Like, how are you consuming this
Makes
content?
me feel better about my life.
I guess. Well, it just, I guess you can go that route, but I enjoy watching someone this horrible
At least I'm
life.
not that crazy.
Yeah, maybe it's something like that. But to me, it's just like just knowing that happened is heavy on me. I was like, oh my God.
Like, I look at my evenings and the stuff that I consume after like dinner, like my television or whether it's a video game or something like that. Like, I look at that as like, I want it to be a happy thing. So I'm never really excited when Andrea wants us to saddle up and watch something that, like when we were watching the Heaven's Gate documentary stuff, it's like, oh, let's saddle up right before I go to bed, and I'm going to watch 2 hours of crazy people killing themselves, and then I'm just going to put my sleep mask on and go to... It's just... It never aligns with me. It never does.
I like to watch something not stressful right before I go to sleep. I'll watch some crazy murder stuff, but then I got to have a break right in between and throw something else on.
It's like the sherbet at a chili eating contest. You're going to have to throw some sherbet.
Yeah. Hey, cleanse my palate right before I close my eyes.
Crystal will do that too, where like she'll watch something super heavy and like, let's put on a rerun of The Office or The Mayor of that show.
It doesn't work that fast with me though. Andrea can do that. Like, we watch Cheers, and Andrea will be like, let's put on a Cheers. I'm like, it doesn't work that way for people like me. You've already ruined my night.
Yeah. You already stuck scarred.
I don't tell her that. No, I don't tell her that. But why I obsess, right? It's in the diagnosis of what I've been diagnosed with. So I obsess over things, and you've already lit the fuse. I'm already thinking about how I need to follow these people to the Hale Bob concert.
I haven't even seen the ending of that. I started it.
We know how it is.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it goes into here. Don't watch it. You know what happens, and it just gets more sad because you just see more of their families and how their families were impacted. How about that? See what I mean? Like, why did I even watch that, Sam?
That one, though, I did believe that those people truly believed what they said. Like the other ones, I'm like, I think the head guy knows this is BS, right? Like you can start seeing that, and he's like,
I think that guy needed to.
I don't know.
He
had crazy legitimate eyes.
I mean, when you kill yourself at the end of it, altogether, I'm like, they believed it.
I think he was gonna do that anyway.
But he was doing a bunch of stuff.
Nuts,
I mean, the first step before killing yourself, if you castrate yourself, I feel like, or if you're going to.
Yeah, but you're
I feel like you're in there.
I feel like the Jim...
You're down for whatever.
Like the Jim Jones of the world, I feel like panicked killed himself because he realized he's gone too far and what he's done is this atrocity.
Like, you could rot in prison. You have some guilt.
You shoot yourself because you're like, oh my God, everybody's dead. What have I done? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. The Halebot, whatever they were, like that cult seemed like they were dead set from the beginning and there was no shaking them.
They didn't waver much. I remember when they even had their website up. And you know what's creepy? Is that I can remember working for Ed Till at Real Radio. Oh, I have a topic. Sam, write down Ed Till. Andrea was going through all my mom's stuff. Found my old intern booklet. from when I worked with Ed Till.
Yeah.
And has the first guidelines of how I had to set up the studio. I'll read it to you guys. But anyway, what was I saying there?
When the website's still active, by the way.
Yeah, so I went to their website. I remember working for Ed
still
Till.
Followers, kind of.
But this was before they were dead. I remember going to the website, and you could see them there, So I interacted with that website while these people were still alive, but telling us they were going to kill themselves.
Wow, that's
you see
crazy.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's weird to me that I went to the website to research it for Ed, took screenshots or whatever I did, and those people were not even gone. They were still waiting to go on their journey. I guess I'll call it that.
It's crazy. You can convince some humans, or they can convince themselves, and nothing will stop that or change their thinking. Once they're dedicated into something like that, I mean, it happens with a bunch of stuff. Like,
and they go,
you cannot talk them out of it.
It's one big final bye-bye.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I didn't know we were starting the show. Totally thought we were coming back from it.
That's fine.
That's me.
That's fine.
I'm Dan. I see things differently.
Nobody really cares about the intro, I feel.
I don't think they do either. They just want you to start immediately just start doing the show.
Yeah.
Hi.
Because they know who we are at this point.
I don't know. Yeah, they do. They got to. I don't even know who I am at this point.
Yeah.
Tom.
Anybody out there?
I don't. Is anybody even listening to this?
If you're listening, tweet us. It's called the Playboy TV.
Home of George St. Pierre. Tom's Pop called it Gay Mexico.
I feel like we already can't say that anymore. That was 2019. It was a different time.
It's already aged poorly.
yeah. Then 2021. This is not.
This tweet did
appropriate.
not hold up.
No. This is worse than Watson.
But it will come back again. Worse than Watson.
yeah, that's not.
The more I dig into that, the more I'm just horrified.
42.
42.
Now, some of them said that they're fine.
No.
But what's
Some of them are not.
22 of them.
Yes.
Whatever it is.
It's bad.
It's like, you got a problem. There's a problem
That's
here.
the way to say it, yeah.
No
matter what
this is an addiction at
But
this
how
point.
many do you go to that you're like, how many do you...
Why not just find the one that was cool with it and stick with her?
There it is.
That's the problem. Anyway, sorry, Josh.
Yeah, but you don't like it when she's cool with it. You
No,
like,
yeah.
That's
the you want them to hate
Because you're
it.
sick.
Yeah. That's the that's the problem.
Because
That's
you
the
ought
true
to
problem.
you're sick.
That's sick.
Chop his head off and study it. Right? That's what you got to do.
That's what they're doing that with that other football
guy.
player. Yeah.
But I don't think they do it like the way I envision it is large scimitar, sing, and then it falls, rolls, and then they pick it up, put it in a burlap bag.
That's what you'd have
And
to
then,
do.
you ride your horse to the...
I think they still need that to testing for rabies. Like they have to chop an animal's head off or something, right? Something like that.
I had to do it with Maisie's hamster.
You think a simple blood test. Anyway, sorry, Josh.
Yeah, we
How
can
you
do
doing?
23andMe, but you got to chop the hamster's head off?
Yeah. Like what? You can't take his blood?
Yeah.
Nah.
All right. Sorry, Josh.
They got those new little prick things, too. Like, they got this new thing that's like, oh, I get bloated every time I eat. And then you take this little thing that looks like a vape pen, and you stick it on your thumb, and I guess it's like a prickless, like you're pricking your thumb, and then you send it away, and then they send you, these are the foods you can eat and not get bloated. You can't do that to the hamster. You can't do that to the dog, the little dink, just a little dink, and I send it away, and then you're like, yes.
Saw his head off?
Yeah, he had, well, what if you do the dink, right? You do the little blood test, you send it away, and then they write you back, they're like, your dog does in fact have rabies. Now you have to chop his head off.
Okay, yeah.
The chopping wasn't for the study, and it was just because that dog's got rabies, chop its head off. It's crazy.
Well, it's bad if you chop your dog's head off, then they say, no rabies.
You're like,
you did not need to do this.
Where do I go from here? I have a claim.
Be like, it looks like you held him down too. Like he was mad.
Yeah, that's not a clean chop. There's a lot of...
Sorry, Josh. How you doing?
You just pulled the bone off at the end. You didn't even... You did that move like my dad does when he's eating chicken where you just break it and rip.
Yeah. How's it been going in Canada, Josh?
Things are going good up here. This segment's brought to you by the Little Cheese Show. Now, I've learned quite a few things over the last few weeks producing the Little Cheese Show, and I've actually grown quite a bit of sympathy and or empathy for Samantha, because it turns out keeping a bunch of 13-year-old boys on track with scheduling and recording podcasts is hard. So, Sam, I can imagine this is how you feel with these guys.
It's about the same. It's about the same.
Look, it's worse with us. We're on drugs.
Yeah,
we're on drugs and we're violent.
Yeah, I'm more like a 16-year-old with rabies. I got to chop my head off. All I do is Minecraft masturbate. That's all I want to do.
We're on drugs. We're violent and horny. Violently horny.
It's a bad combo.
Every time Sam's like, "You need to do your Josh is doing an interview. Get in there," and I'm like, "You're not the boss of me."
And we don't like the ones that like it. We
we're
know
like,
what that means.
Worse than Watson. Unfortunate.
So it's a pain in the ass. I can't imagine. I tell my sons, they want to do YouTube playing video games because that's what they see. And they're like, we want the likes. We want the...
Dude, Maisie started doing exercise videos.
No,
she goes up to the 4th floor. She takes my Peloton weights out of the bike, brings them downstairs, dresses in a leotard, sets her iPad up, and then does she's like, "Hi, I'm Maisie. This is," and she does a workout.
But is she recording it?
Yeah, on her iPad. Thankfully, it has no internet on it.
Oh,
you can't go anywhere with the videos, but they're on there.
Yeah, and then so I'm like, well, you could do that. You just have to figure out how to do it. Like, I don't know how to do it. Your old man is a dumb old man.
They know how to do it. If Maisie knows how to do it, they know how to press record on their iPad.
They want to upload it to their own YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Oh no, you got to fake that part. You can't let them get on there.
No, don't let your babies on there.
Well, to me, I'm like, if you can figure it out, then you do it. Like,
that's fair.
But they're just like everybody. They don't want to do the work.
No, that's fair.
They just want
That's called the Pauly Shore.
Yeah,
it's like, I got a million podcast ideas. You need to do it for me.
So, Josh, when it comes to the actual work and like, hey, you have to do this on a schedule. You have to go. Then they're out, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's almost once they start telling them they have to do it, then it's kind of become homework at that point. But they're doing good.
Out of it.
They're still having fun.
Yeah, it's like this show. Like, we used to be a hobby.
Yeah.
And then
it used to be fun. We used to talk to each other.
5 days a week.
Honestly, I realize now, I told Andrea yesterday, observations. We used to love coming in here. Now we come in here, we just sit in silence.
Yeah. Then that's what I'm like, now everybody's miserable.
Yeah, and Tom likes it. He comes in and gives me the one yo.
I don't like when people's they're happy at work.
He comes in, he's like, yo. And I knew today, sitting at my computer, I was like, I'm going to sit in the room with him, but I'm not going to say a word to him. And I had to fight not doing small talk with Tom. And I don't even know what you're doing over there because I think if I look over my shoulder, you're going to think I'm checking up on you.
If everybody's too happy at work, something's going wrong. Like, something's
Butler's
not
too
right.
happy at work.
I know. Yeah, it's like,
he's too happy.
You got to be miserable like the rest of us. If you're happy.
Speaking of people being miserable, Tom, at work, I sent you guys a clip of an NHL referee. Now, I think we stumbled upon it randomly before about NHL referees. That they make good money. They make between $190,000 and $220,000 a year, but this ties in many different aspects. So you guys have been audio men your whole life. Have you guys ever had or witnessed firsthand a true hot mic incident where it's like, oh no, that microphone was on? Like,
yes.
Anything ever happened with you guys?
Yes, I have a very good one. I was at the Daytona Beach Ocean Center watching wrestling, and it was an infamous match where Hulk Hogan was going to lose and give up the belt, and he didn't want to do it. So he flipped and went off script rogue and started cursing out the audience. and it was as bizarre as it sounds. It was extremely bizarre.
That is crazy.
I believe he called somebody there an MF or something. It was very weird.
I think I was...
And he wasn't supposed to do it.
At some sort of gala or awards or something, some show... Someone had a lapel mic, and then I remember the production crew or the cameraman laughing because someone was doing the pee-pee in the bathroom.
Yeah.
But it wasn't blasted live. It was just they were laughing.
It's not a big deal if if like you say Steve Aoki's playing over it, you're not going to hear my pee-pee.
Yeah. But I've never seen the public hot mic. Remember that documentary with the guy who was they thought he murdered someone and then he went into the bathroom and he's like, I forgot.
Yes.
What was that guy's name?
Yeah.
He was like, oh God, I killed him. Okay, they know whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like he did. And then they had that audio.
I don't remember
It was a documentary about this crazy guy that they suspected he killed these people.
I think it's called Killed
Yeah.
Them All.
He's a-
Robert Durst.
Yeah, Robert Durst. It was
Yes.
the Robert Durst story. And
HBO documentary saying to himself, what the hell did I do? Killed them all, of course.
Yeah. And he was in the bathroom, like, splashing water on his face.
Did he kill them all?
yes.
Well, I think why would you say that? Like I don't say that in the bathroom.
Every time I go to the bathroom, I look in the mirror, wash while I'm washing my hands, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Because you got to kill the germs, and I say, "What have you done? You killed them all." And it's just
That's
positive
your routine.
thinking.
Yeah.
It's positive thinking. You have to put it into the universe to make it happen.
So sorry, Josh. So yeah, this NFL
That's okay.
referee.
So yeah, this was an
NHL.
NHL referee. His name, it happened a couple weeks ago. His name's Tim Peel, and so now in the last couple of years they just started doing this in the NHL where like the NFL referees will call the penalty. So they'll blow the whistle and then they'll come over in front of the camera and say number 47 Colorado.
That's an ego thing. That's an ego thing. Right?
Yeah. So yeah, they started doing that, and I'm not a big fan of it. But so in sports, you guys are probably aware, sometimes refs will do what they call game management, where, oh man, I called a bad penalty against those guys. I'm going to kind of make up for here. It's well known that happens in hockey.
Yeah,
But
it's
this
well
guy
known in
here,
soccer
Tim Peel,
too.
Yeah, they try to even it out, the unfairness.
In soccer and hockey, it has always been the case, and it will always be the case. Yeah.
But unfortunately, Tim Peel got caught admitting to that, basically, with his mic open that he should not have been on. And Dan, you can roll there.
All right.
Says.
I'm gonna head over here so we can see this. Here we go. This is NHL.
Yeah, so this was Detroit against Nashville.
All right.
You make it the time that the offense takes place, and if you don't, then that's it.
I don't think it's fair, to the other team. I think that, the game should be played, truthfully.
A referee has been banned from working NHL games after he let it slip over the airwaves that he was looking to call a penalty against the Nashville Predators. And now the hot mic situation has brought with it mixed reaction from players and fans about the role of makeup calls in sports.
This is the video. A replay between the Detroit Red Wings and Nashville Predators. A voice is heard saying,
"It wasn't much, but I wanted to get a penalty against Nashville early in the..."
That was 53-year-old NHL referee.
Oh, man. Poor guy. Oh. He's a real man, too, because the hockey referees, I imagine, are the toughest of all referees.
Yeah, for like 20-plus years. And he was just like, and what's crazy about it, too, you hear in the background, it's either the linesman or the referee. He's like, no, I know that wasn't a penalty, but I wanted to effing get a penalty against Nashville early. The guy with him was like, yeah, I know. So it's like, it's known that this happens.
Yeah, and you know what's a shame? This is the divide between the fan and the how the organization works, right? And like the reality of it, right? So
we all know the reality.
We want to sit back and think that all this is like scientific to the point, is like everything's fair, all the procedures are exactly even, but the reality is there's subjectivity in this. There's referees that kind of have to even out the game.
You want it to be fair, you do.
There's humans involved, so there's going to be error, and the refs are just trying to make it as not lopsided as possible, right? And this has been going on for years.
You're managing.
And because of technology and mics and things, like this gets out, which is a well-known thing that everybody knows is going on. Even the players are fine with it. Like they understand this is the way. And this guy's got to be fired because the organization can't admit that this happens, because the fans would go crazy. They'd be like, wait a minute, it's not cut and dry? Like these people have a say?
What do you say, Josh, as the avid, hockeyman? What do you say about people?
I am surprised I'm surprised how hard of a stand the NHL took on it. And like it was within 24 hours of that game being over, they were like, done, fired 100%. Like I figured there'd be some sort of fallout, but they were like, no, he's gone. We're getting rid of him. And like, I wonder, like, if do you think something in soccer or football, do you think the league would react that harsh?
Oh yeah, if this happened in the NFL, those referees would be fired because they do this with pass interference in the NFL. Like the game referees collectively kind of understand like what the vibe of the game is.
And that's why you see them conversing and managing.
And this happened last year, and it was not talked about that much, but in the NFL, they loosened the holding penalties at the beginning of COVID because they wanted to make it like let everybody play more and let scoring happen, and they were worried because there's no audience that it would be less of a product. So the NFL told the referees blatantly, it seemed like, hey, call less holding penalties, let the game play.
Well,
so scoring, and then we don't want to look at that and know that happens because it kind of takes away the purity of the game for the audience, right?
Like I'm just now getting into hockey, right? Like this will be like my second season of like watching. Does it change if the game has always been played this, and this is how the refs have managed the game, and to a certain extent, the NHL has leaned on referees to do this, right? They have.
But they have to, because they're...
So once you've done this, are you changing everything now? Because am I correct in thinking as a new fan, Josh, that the only reason this guy got fired is because he got caught? Had he known...
It's 100%.
Well, not even that he got caught, but he said it, and
the guy.
the audience
and
heard
nothing
it.
You can do.
Yeah. Because the audience heard it, then they have to fire him. But they know it happens,
right.
And it has to happen because... there's humans involved, and there's no way to make it exactly
unless you want to go to all cameras and robots and sensors.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, you can do that.
The game's too
Keep
fast.
The human factor, yeah.
Nobody's going to do that. There, you think in the EPL and the NHL, which are the two I would use as the biggest examples. There's no way that those audiences are ever going to want to go to sensors and bells and whistles and lines and cameras.
Well, Josh, let's talk about that. Because of the way the game is played, you can't do it. Like in basketball and the NFL, there's breaks, and you can check the tape during the breaks. Like, obviously, every play in the NFL, you could go back and...
The pacing's different. You can send it to New York if you need to,
see if he went out of bounds and stuff, because there's a break in the play no matter what. It's a natural... And hockey and soccer, there's no break. So if you started saying, wait, let's check the tape, it would slow down the entire game. And ruin it.
Well, you can't do that in hockey and soccer. They're too quick. In football, you can have... Even in my stupid Madden game, they'll go, oh, looks like New York's checking that call to see if they got it right. It's insane.
Yeah, and there's one that's in the NHL now, and it's the offside rule. So if a goal scored, as the team that scored entered the offensive zone, if they were offside, that goal will be disallowed. And sometimes you watch these guys passing, coming across the blue line. It is like centimeters, millimeters, and so sometimes the play will move in. A bunch of plays will happen. Team will score. Oh, but wait a second. Somebody for the other team reviewed that stupid offside. And for the sake of 2 millimeters, the whole game is put on pause while it's reviewed. The guy scored a legitimate goal, but now it's not allowed because of that stupid offside rule. And where it's so minuscule, the sentiment here is that let's get rid of it. You know what? It's the human factor. It's the referees. Let's get rid of it and just let them play.
Yeah, I don't see that much in soccer. Offsides is one where I feel like they still abuse it, and you'll still see things. Occasionally you'll see it called, but I don't think I've ever seen like the MLS. Like I'll use American soccer. I've never seen MLS or Don Garber or anybody call back an offsides call. Usually that's let go. If that's what they're doing in hockey now, I think that's pretty bad. You can't do that.
Yeah, it's got to go.
I bet you there's a lot of this stuff in other sports. Like I'm thinking, I bet you there's umpires in baseball that would say, like, there's some pitches that I blinked or I wasn't paying attention and I just had to make a call and I just called.
Which one do you think's the hardest?
As far as what? Being an umpire?
I'm trying to think of if you were going to go into a field and we were going to rank them, which one would be the hardest to do?
Well, NFL is getting pretty technical where it seems like it's almost impossible to call pass interference or because
it changes a lot.
But at least they can review it. So they have a backup. They make a call and then it's wrong. They'll review it, overturn it, whatever, their system's in place. With these kind of sports, it happens all the time. Well, they'll review it after the game's over and they'll be like, this guy got it wrong and this guy changed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So then it's way harsher. The NFL at least has but because it's the way the game's played, they'll have a way to right the wrong, right?
Right.
And there's been plenty of games that have been literally changed by refs, and the winners changed.
Well, in a weird aside, you and I used to see it when we were working Orlando City matches, especially in lower leagues. You would see referees dole out penalties, right there on the sideline, and you knew it was a harsh penalty, and you were just waiting to get it back later, and you would. Typically, we'd get it back as the team. You'd see Kaká would muscle somebody in there, and you'd be like, "Oh, that's a yellow," and they'd let it slide. And you'd be like, "Okay, well now it's even."
Yeah. All right, Josh, you got another story?
Yeah, Tom, what's the most expensive fishing trip you ever went on? The reason I ask you that is because there is a bunch of anglers from the U.S. that came up and they were fishing off the coast of Vancouver Island. Apparently, they've been doing this for a couple of years now, but it was well known that these guys were, let's say, in American fashion, turning their nose up at the rules. So anyway, after a lengthy investigation, the 3 individuals that they caught were charged with $70,000 worth of fines for illegally fishing salmon up here in British Columbia.
Oh my God.
70 grand.
Wow. Now
I'm sick of salmon.
They I know
it's good, but man, I'm sick of it.
I've heard the stories, and it seems like they will make it a point or make an example of you. Like the FWC, like for lobster season down here in Florida, or like
people get spanked.
Snook, or like if you are catching something and keeping undersized fish, like they'll fine you every fish. So like lobster, if you have undersized lobster, I don't know what the fine is, but it's expensive, and it could be like I've heard of stories where people they've caught them with
putting you in the paper.
$50,000 worth of fines,
yes.
And they will straight up put your ass in jail if you know, like they do not F around with the FWC here in Florida. So now if these people are stinking rich, then it really doesn't matter, right? But I'm sure 70 grand for some salmon stings anybody, right?
Yeah, exactly. And these guys it seems like they'd have a lot of money. And what got them, so like you said, they get you for every one. Like they had it broken down to 26 Chinook salmon, 18 rockfish fillets, 8 ling cod fillets, and 10 bags of salmon roe that weighed 24 kg. So they had it itemized right down to it. But the big one is the law is here. If you get caught with this type of violation, they seize all your equipment. So your boat, your motor, your gear, and we're talking, this was like a 35-foot giant fishing boat with 200-300 horsepower.
They do that here.
That's a 6-figure boat.
They'll take your boat here if you do that. That's very popular.
It seems like not worth it for 25 salmon or whatever.
25 salmon, exactly.
Now,
what are you trying? At that point, are you really trying to go after the value of the 25 salmon?
You're just trying to get away with.
Really?
Yeah,
you didn't think it out.
Well, they've probably been doing it for 15 years and never been caught. It's one of those things like
and then the hot mic, and next thing you know, you're fired.
Yeah. And
they're just like the hockey guy.
Yeah, you would think that the hockey guy would know how serious they take the not leaking out this information, and you would never mention it. It's kind of like in radio. Me and Daniel knew.
Don't swear, yeah.
That the way you get fired in radio is leaving your mic on during the break and then playing some porno.
Do you remember how crazy I was about the mic? I would yell.
Yeah. Well, that's how everybody we heard getting fired. They're like, left the mic on, cursed, got fired.
I would yell at people, and I would hit the mics with my 4 fingers like I'm playing piano. I would get like, and I'd hit them again.
Yeah, you're paranoid.
Because sometimes the stupider members of the shows I was working on would turn their mics back on because they just see a light turn on. They're like, ew, light, turn it down. And I'd be like, no, turn it off.
Who was that?
Yeah, well, he wore a hat. And I love him. I love him, but he wore a hat.
I would be nervous about yelling curse words during the break, even in a room full of mics that I thought were off, because I was like, man, all it takes is one mic being on and then I'm fired. It's like, it's not worth it. Just go, when you're cursing, do it away from a mic.
It's like the amount of trust you have, too, because at any point in time, I could have taken every fader to the moon and turned them all on.
I told you to do that.
Out. Yeah, you did.
They ruined everything. Anyway, what was the story about?
Salmon.
Oh, salmon.
Yep. $70,000 fine for catching salmon.
Ooh, and you lost your boat. Do you get I know they seize it, but can you pay a small penalty and you get it back, or is that it?
I think it goes to auction once that's it. It now belongs to the government.
Well, can you do jail time? Can you get to a point where you have you're poaching so much salmon that they're this goes beyond
it could be
70,000, this goes beyond taking your boat. You are now going to jail because you stole salmon.
Yes.
Repeat offender.
It's the judge has the either going to sentence you to a fine or the jail time, because they all say this is subject to a $5,000 fine or
jail time.
6 months in jail.
I would not want to go to jail for salmon roe.
I think jail in Canada's fine, though, right?
I don't know.
But the judge would rather have the money if these guys got rich because they
let murderers go.
It's easier or better for the country for them just to get the money than put a bunch of rich guys in jail. You know,
I know nothing about Canada, and I hear just that the people are sweet and my neighbors are Canadian and they're sweet. That's as far as I ever go. I leave it there.
That's as far as you need to go, buddy.
Yeah,
you don't
I
need
never.
any more than that.
I heard the strip clubs are good. I heard the syrup,
Loonies and Toonies.
maple candies are good. I heard that's about as far as I go.
You know who's got it easy is the mammal hunters, and I'll explain, is because there are the same fines for like deer and elk and stuff, but it's just usually you get one. So you're like the fish and the lobster and all that, like you have dozens, and then they compound, right? The elk, like
then we need to even it out because one deer should equal 27 salmon.
I know, but it doesn't work like that.
Oh, then we got to fix that.
One deer is like
so it should go by weight, is what you're saying, Dan, right?
Like those
whatever
places,
what the weight of the meat is you took. There's equation to that.
Like Tom and I are massive fans of these restaurants that charge you by the pound. So when you go there, they weigh you to see what you weigh, and they charge you to go in there, and then it's all you can eat.
Yeah. And it's also,
I've always been that.
It's like if that lobster tail is half an inch under the legal limit, like you get popped for it. I feel like it should go up the smaller it is. Like a little baby lobster should be the biggest crime, right?
Yes.
It's like half an inch is the same fine as 5 inches.
Like a baby lobster, there should be billboards that said it had a heartbeat at 3. The whole 9.
Yeah, it's like
that is a crime. But a big fat old ass 100-year-old lobster been floating around. Nobody wants to eat that stanky ass tail anyway.
All right, next story.
I was on the Bubba the Love Sponge show thanks to Tuttle.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! I'm so sorry.
Why did that happen?
What happened?
It happened. So Tuttle went. You guys still do. You guys talk to Tuttle once a month, I think. And,
no. We had to distance ourselves again.
Yeah, we had to cut ties.
Again.
After
You didn't hear what happened?
You didn't hear what he burned down the Vapor Shades factory. He burned it all down.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he went over there. Apparently, the swirling on his glasses was the same, and he found out that each pair was identical, and he burned it all down. No,
that would explain the last email that he just sent me. Actually, now that you mentioned that.
Oh no.
Yeah. So he called me as he was on his way to Tampa, and he's like, "Could you just do like a positioning piece or a quick little liner for me?" Kind of like Tuttle down and out, after, years as a broadcast legend. And then he's been honing his skills. That's kind of like making fun of the Hobo Fish Camp and the PT Cruiser. And then he put it on, and they played me on Bubba the Love Sponge. And,
I'm sorry.
Of course, everybody said it was terrible. And
well, that's
you
what
got trolled.
Hey, when you go to the mountaintop, sometimes the gods of radio are gonna spit in your face. That's just what happens.
Yeah, when I was watching that, because I watched the Twitch stream, it's like it makes me realize how much you guys are my comfort zone, because just knowing that I was in front of those guys, and I don't know, it would be like going over to that weird friend's house that whose parents are weird. You don't want to spend the night at their place, and just watching the Bubba the Love Sponge show, and hats off to him. He's great. He's successful, but it just made me realize that Tom and Dan definitely my comfort zone, because I was watching it and just the dynamics and the cadence and the way everything goes to show.
We're P words
scary
compared to him. Like he's a radio real man. Like dude, yell at you.
He doesn't care. That man will poop in a bucket for his show, and I will never do that.
And make his employees that he's paying legally. They're paying FICA on their paycheck.
He literally
they're sitting on the dirt.
Yeah, he's sitting in the turd shack.
That's more balls than I ever want.
I told Tom, I was like, I will never poop in a Homer bucket and make my employees sit in a poop shack.
I wish I could though, because that would make me so happy.
Well,
if we
Butler
made Butler
deserves it.
Yeah, no, I know.
But I don't have the balls to do it.
Could you imagine if Butler worked for Bubba the Love Sponge? How many poop shacks is he sitting in?
First of all, he'd have a shaved head every day. They'd be buzzing his haircut, shaving his eyebrows off.
Butler doesn't know how good he has it.
Yeah, he really does have it good.
I even had it worse back in the intern days. Like I had to do the mouse traps and the taser and the doo-doos and the snigs.
So when you guys were there, because you guys did record there a few months ago, did you find it you guys seemed like you're a little bit unsettled by being there? Did you?
Well, it was
a few months ago.
A year and a half
that
ago.
was 2 years. That was more than 2 years ago. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was like 3.5 years ago.
I don't know.
It was terrible.
I don't know when it
It
was.
smelled like pee-pee in there.
I want to forget about it.
Were you there?
Everything was sticky. Yeah, remember we had Butler answering the phones. Remember when we did the live show there?
Are you talking about Sausage Castle?
No, I was talking about
No, Bubba.
Real Bubba. I was talking about Real Radio. Going back to Real Radio.
No, Real Radio's fine. No, we're talking about Bubba the Love Sponge.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't go to that.
Like Samantha's like, it smells like pee-pee. There is a hint of pee. Well, that's maybe
You left it there
our
in the-
pee-pee because I
Yeah,
did
I
spray
know.
some pee-pee in the corner before I left.
It was what we did.
It was a lot though.
I
After
think they have a
years.
whole new studio now. We've never seen their
No,
new
I haven't
studio.
seen the new one. No.
But yeah, when we went to the Bubba Love Sponge studio, it was a
Did you say it
bizarre.
was a warehouse?
It was a giant. Yeah, not only that,
It
but
is a warehouse and it's concrete insulated.
he
It's
was
crazy.
He was. I'm not joking. 20 feet away from me, but also
in a king throne,
15 feet higher than I was at, and
Yeah.
I,
Of course.
in a throne.
Yeah.
and I couldn't see. So I'm behind. Dark. It's always dark
Yeah.
in the
A
like.
lot of radio guys like it dark.
Like
I
a
like it
porn
light.
dungeon.
Put more
Yeah,
light
yeah.
on me.
So it's pitch black. I'm sitting there. I'm behind a bunch of screens. Like all
and
I
then
can
there's
hear
like a
is
shower, stripper
It's like
pole,
Saw.
neon lights. There's like a wheel. There's machetes and axes.
there's interns. Like, and then so I'm like.
Guitars signed by Seven Dust everywhere.
It was. I was freaking out, bro. I was like, "Oh my god,
it was
what's
a lot
happening?"
to take in.
And I think, but it made me vulnerable. So like, I would have answered truthfully whatever Bubba Love Sponge just act like. If he's yelling at me something, I'm just gonna do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
It puts you on tilt.
Yeah,
and
it does put
it's
you on
probably
tilt.
designed for that.
Cause you're because you're in his world. That's his. That's his.
That's how
style.
you get the good interviews.
And look, that's not our style, but that's his style, and it's cool. You know, like you. But it is a lot to take in.
That's how you get Tequila to sit on the simian.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Because you throw them off, and then they're just like, do
Yeah.
whatever you tell them.
If you want Gary, the
I would've
special
sat-
needs boy, to wear the banana hat, then you got to have the throne and the shower and the neon and the
Yeah, you have to
rock.
intimidate him
Yeah.
to sit on the simian.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Josh. What else you got?
So, what else are we going to talk about?
It sounds like now we sound like every other Zoom meeting. We're like, oh,
Now what?
all right. Well, is that about it?
Everybody good to go?
Applebee's, 2 Applebee's.
Yeah.
I want to spend next winter in Florida. BDMs, 4-bedroom, 3-bath rental. Hit me up on jcvoiceover.com if there's any
we can do
real
that.
estate rentalmans.
Well, would
Hold
you
on,
be
the
interested
whole
in
summer?
Would you be interested in
No,
staying in the
November
Tom
to
and
March.
You want to stay in the Tom and Dan Airbnb?
Winter.
Winter. November to March. You don't have to work?
So I travel, I fly back and forth to work anyway, right? So if my wife is able to transition to working from home, which she's pretty much doing now anyway, homeschool the kids, just spend the winter months, where there's no snow. And I'll still travel back and forth out to work, the pipeline where I work.
I know a guy.
I would hate to see your kids be homeschooled though, because they're cool now.
Josh, that brings up a good question
And
because
homeschooled kids, they lose their cool when they start wearing the long denim dresses and they get the Bucky Larson haircuts
Yeah,
and they
the bowl.
lose like people skills. They don't know how to read
Not
any
little
books
cheese.
except for the Bible.
So, Josh, this brings up an interesting question because I have this theory that because of everybody's working virtual, not everybody, but a lot of people are just working
Butler
from home.
is virtually working.
yeah. That we're going to see a lot of people move to Florida just because why live in Nebraska if you could live in Florida?
That's their
It's
slogan,
It's
too.
the same. If your house is the same, you're like, I'll just live where I could drive to the beach in an hour. Right? It's always
Why
nice.
wouldn't you?
So, Josh, if your wife is now working virtually, would you move to Florida? Because, even Canada's nice, but there is...
Why don't you hire him as our
That-
new
that-
permanent voiceover guy?
Well, that winter...
I like it.
That winter stretch for you guys is brutal. So is that enough to make you just live in a different... obviously you got to do whatever it takes.
Call me greedy, but it's like I think to really enjoy both climates, you got to do one. You got to do two. You can't just settle in one. So it would be like November to March in Florida, and then April to October in Canada.
So you do the snowbird.
I would have to do both.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd have to do the snowbird.
Although I do it's not as miserable when in the summer here. It is hot as hell. Maybe you guys are different though. Like you'd be melting because you're like, oh my god, 99 degrees.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
But as you're inside, or in your pool.
I have never understood the people complaining about the heat because I'm the type of person where I can always get cool, but I can never warm up. Maybe that's just my body type, but like when I'm cold, like when we were in Colorado and I wasn't dressed properly, it's miserable. Like we went to dinner, I'm just sitting outside and I have a sweatshirt on. I was like, this is not good. I shouldn't have done this.
But it's like when it's 99 outside, like most Floridians like stay inside or go to the pool or whatever, but it's not like you have to change, you put on some sort of radioactive suit because the sun's too
right. It's not that bad.
In Canada, like when you go to work and it's sub-zero outside, I mean, you can't just run out to your car and get in your car and be fine. It's like there's a process.
No,
like, you got to
it
heat
hurts too. Like I've said before, the cold hurts. It's like ow. You know what I mean?
You got to get 10 layers on. You got to snuvel. God damn it.
This guy's getting worse by the day.
I give up. Screw you, Josh.
What? It's not his fault.
Why?
He didn't make you say snuvel.
You got me to say it.
No, I don't think that's how that works at all. You were doing a rant, and you I don't know where you went. And the next thing you know, you're like, you're out there snubbling everything.
My
It is getting worse.
Up. I didn't see what happened. I guess I'll have to.
No, don't look at it.
Don't watch it.
Yeah. Well, we went too far, so now
we went too far. Now we don't have nowhere to go.
It's still cold as hell there, right? It's not warmed up yet.
It was like 40 degrees this morning.
Oh my God!
You see that? I don't like that.
Put a hat, gloves. Yeah, it's still cold.
Yeah. It's full on 80.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to buy extra. Like you're gonna have to if you live in Florida and then you live in Canada. That's 2 whole wardrobes. You're like, I don't own any coats. I don't own any gloves. I got no boots.
Yeah. Also,
I got 1 pair of jeans.
2 house money. I feel like that's a big time.
That's
there.
none of your business, man. That's his
that
business.
Voiceover money.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He's got that vapor shade.
No,
well, not now.
You're a pipeline. Whatever it is.
The pipeline.
Well, that's what he wore.
He's laying that pipeline.
No, he's a paramedic on a pipeline. I think.
How much money can he make? I know.
Are you a paramedic on a pipeline?
That's what it is, right?
Yes, I am. That's good alliteration.
Peter Piper picked a peck of
Does anybody ever get sucked into the pipeline or blow their hands off or anything? Like, what? Do you have to do anything?
Yeah. Do you ever have to bandage somebody's stump hands?
Or do you have
the worst thing you've seen?
Or do you just sit on the sidelines like the paramedics that hire for arena football games and never do anything?
Fat asses.
The worst thing, I'm going to answer Sam's question because she asked the best. The worst thing I saw was the guy blew himself up with an oxygen tank.
Ooh.
Like completely blew himself up?
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
hold on.
Oh
Like
my.
blew himself up or
Ryan.
exploded?
The tank blew up between his legs.
Oh.
And he lived.
Oh, he lived!
Yay!
But he lost his boys? Or
Everything, yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Yeah.
he's like a Ken doll
Yeah.
now.
No, that's when you just do that move in Saving Private Ryan where you just start giving him morphine and then just let him
And
go.
that's why I said that, Tom. It actually, my first thought when you get to that that adrenaline scene of Saving Private Ryan where everything kind of just was like kind of high pitch ringing. And my first thought when I saw that was like, this is what World War II medics probably saw quite often, which is weird. That was the first thought I had.
Pull yourself together and
Did
run
you,
over there and pick up that man's
I was
penis.
gonna say, did you retrieve it and put it on ice or anything, or was it just obliterated?
Without going too graphic, it was still there, but just gone.
Just moved to the side.
It was no longer going to serve a purpose.
Oh,
Yeah.
So, but other than that, do you just sit around and wait for some calls?
Do you guys make chili?
Other than that, it's man colds and Netflix and yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty good, though.
Yeah.
You're watching Netflix. Guys' genitals blown off. Netflix.
And then you're just sitting around, but you're living in like a remote area, right? While you're on duty.
Yeah, it's a camp. It's called a camp, but it's essentially a hotel. It's a small room with a bed and a bathroom and a sink, and there's just like a small hotel room basically. And they cook for you, they clean for you.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty low maintenance.
What's a typical dinner if they're cooking something for you? What do you get?
So they'll go through a rotation. So everything from beef brisket to, they'll do like chicken, stir fries, pizza night. There's always a steak night. There's always Chinese food. night. Nothing like Tom's Chinese food night the other night. But
yeah.
Canada's really
Tom-
treats their employees well.
Tom has the zaniest Chinese nights.
Well,
These guys promise me pizza parties, never get it.
that's
It's because no pizza place is open on Fridays at noon.
That's just some oil company's money. They have to have a paramedic on site for insurance reasons.
Why
so
are you
Josh-
belittling
No,
Josh?
that's
Exactly.
what the see.
Well,
I
then, Josh, you should tell Tom the only reason why he's here.
Well, they all know. They don't know. No one knows.
I don't know what's happened here. Everyone knows and no one knows. Like, that's what I heard.
is this the longest segment I've ever done? Is it just me or
Well,
have I been on for like 2 hours?
We got
Yeah,
to
yeah.
34 minutes.
Are
I'm
we
glad-
taking
I'm-
up too much of your time
I'm
there,
glad
Josh?
you were feeling it, too.
I was just thinking.
Josh, you remember Back to the Future? There's the point of no return, because and then Doc Brown said, like,
Okay,
after
gotcha,
you pass
gotcha.
this sign,
Yeah.
you cannot. You're
Yeah.
gonna fly off the cliff, so you just gotta hit the gas.
Got it.
We got the 36 minutes, and I'm like, gone it.
Yeah.
That's it. Once we hit the point of no return, there's
Yeah.
no going back. We just have to steam forward.
I don't care what it is. I'm saying something.
Yeah. When your gas tank's on empty, punch into like we are, and the bridge is then going to be built in the future, or we're rocketing off the cliff.
We are the bridge. We're building the bridge.
So we're just going to ride it out, Josh. We got 2 more minutes. What else you got? Let's talk hockey.
No, we already
I
talked
had that
hockey
thought
and
when we
snow.
started, you guys were going on about Deshaun Watson or whatever going on. I was like, I spend far too much time worrying about this segment and putting notes and stuff together when really I don't have to put that many notes together. I just do a couple and let you guys go do your thing.
Yeah.
I kind of chime in once in a while. But I literally ran out of stuff to say today.
Well, that's
that's
where
why-
you were on the risk,
yeah.
because some days
guess
we're
what?
like,
You're
what else
fired.
you got?
Yeah. And you're fired now. Well done.
You don't always have backup
Yeah.
images
That was
because
a
we're going to
test.
run out.
That was a test. You could have had easy ones. Beth, Dog the Bounty Hunter's wife, Snoop Dogg.
The fight over the weekend. Snoop Dogg is hosting that fight.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. They got
He
Snoop.
does a great job.
He
with
does.
hosting the
It's,
fight.
it's Snoop Dogg and what's the guy from SNL? Skinny drug addict at one time.
Pete Davidson?
Pete Davidson.
Oh, that'll be great.
Snoop Dogg and Pete Davidson.
That'll be great. They're
Yeah.
both really funny, so that'll.
That was a unique way to describe Pete Davidson.
I might have to buy that. Well, he's a odd gentleman, I think.
But-
he kind of looks like Steve Buscemi got steroids.
If Snoop Dogg just does his thing and then you get what's his face to just make some jokes, improv a little bit, yeah, it's good.
It'll be great.
Better
I
than
can't wait.
Better than the regular Joe Rogan and some former MMA guy that you've never heard of. You know what I'm saying? Like make it goofy and
Just
fun.
start getting interesting people to do it.
Well,
Josh, I think we did it.
Yeah, we did it. We got through it. We got through it.
It was a marathon.
So your son, Little Cheese, still has his Twitch channel. Has he made any income from it yet?
Little twitch.tv/littlecheese437. Check out the Little Cheese Show. And if you need any voiceover work done, go to jcvoiceover.com.
Has he made some money yet? Like some tips?
No.
Okay.
No.
Not anything? You didn't even go in there and prime the pump? Like
You
$1
go in there,
in the
you give
tip
him
jar?
like 15 purple diamonds or something.
Yeah.
I don't want him getting soft. I mean, it's got to be hard earned. It's got to be the real deal if he's going to earn it.
It's too late for that, Josh. He's already playing video games.
You
He's
notice
not
that
even-
Josh is a tough dad too. Maybe you're just a soft dad.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
I mean,
he's tougher just from being Canadian.
Josh already is like,
He's
I'm
seen
not
the
helping.
You've seen the blown up deer. I didn't see any of that. Yeah, I saw one dead person
I've seen
on the
the
road one time, and I freaked out.
I've seen 2 dead people, and they were both my parents. So that's
Oh,
pretty.
come on.
I've seen hundreds.
Yeah, see-
Hundreds.
Yeah. He's Josh a real man. But
What's
look
your
at Lav, he's-
favorite? Which one's your favorite?
There's got to be one that stuck with you a
Yeah,
little
there's
bit.
got to be one that every morning you wake up, you're like, I miss old Randy.
That one. It was the one I told you about.
The blown up
that's
there.
the-
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
that's
can't
the
get that.
nice- Yeah.
Hard to eat your
Yeah.
Cheerios when
Yeah.
you remember that.
Yeah, that one's hard to go scuba diving after that. You just go like,
You're
better
like-
up here.
Yeah, like I can't change the tanks anymore. Anyway, all right, bye, Josh.
All right, Beavers.
Oh, yeah,
Don't-
we're supposed to say beaver.
No, no.
He hung up on me.
Oh,
you son of a
oh,
bitch.
never again.
He took the power back.
We're done.
Never again.
I'm never letting him do that to me again. Like, I'm honestly like rattled now. Okay, bye-bye.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. The fish are very healthy, thanks to Top Shelf Aquatics, and thanks to you, buddy, for filling up the reservoir tank with some of that sweet, sweet salted water.
Is that what it is? I didn't know.
Where it says salted water on the side is.
So we have some guests on. They're on Zoom, right?
Yeah. Well, everybody can see them right now.
Yes.
You want me to drop them down so they can, so they're just in the bubble?
Yeah,
and
we'll
people
do the thing where we do the like half the show with them just sitting there, like what's happening
there? They're like looking around.
Yeah.
And we'd actually prefer, for those of you that are guests sitting on the line right now, if you just look around, because it makes it look like you're looking at us like Brady Bunch style.
Now, I think this is the most preparation we've ever done for any interview, which is
true.
Which means, like, Samantha asked me some questions, I want to say 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That was relevant to
I
this
ask you
email.
every day.
Oh, yeah. It took me a long time. Oh, my God. I finally answered, like, I think 10 days into it or something like
7 to 10, yeah.
But I did get her some answers, and then apparently everybody gave some answers.
Well, ours are easy because as soon as she asked me, I just answered. It's very easy. It's like,
I like to wait to the last minute.
I know. You like to age your answers.
But on Zoom with us to talk a little bit about the Orange County Library System, and again, you can go to ocls.info for all information.
And you definitely should do that because they are an invaluable resource in our area.
In different locations, we have Scotty, Rebecca, and Cynthia. How you guys doing?
Great. Thanks for having us.
Doing well, thank you.
No problem. Now, Cynthia is in her bedroom, I believe, because
Why?
I could see the laundry hamper in the background.
That's my husband's laundry.
All right.
Oh, wow. Great. So this is a business meeting, and
you're calling out her laundry.
I must have missed the meeting where it was.
Now we're on the show. It's different.
Don't talk about a person.
I must have missed the part where you're supposed to point out people's laundry hampers.
What's right there?
I say Scotty and the Hotties, and I'm some
that's
sort of
inappropriate.
pariah here.
Yeah. Well, that was during the small talk.
You sit around here
I
and
can say the laundry when we're on the show.
You throw your cancer culture at me to try and intimidate me, sir?
Rebecca's at Sam Sneed's or at Applebee's. Is that a restaurant?
That's a Panera.
Panera, the conference room. And Scotty is someplace with a what is that in the background? Curtain hung.
It is. It's IKEA curtains. This is my office, though.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Wow, you way to point out Scotty's IKEA curtains too. Off to the races, Tom.
Everybody had to convert some corner of their office into like a Zoom area,
Yes.
like
my wife's in our
and
old
you put
studio.
some curtains or library books. I don't know what you like. It's curtain or library books, basically. Anyway,
I'm a curtain man.
How you guys doing?
Great.
So now Samantha knows more about what we're doing today than I do.
So on Thursdays at 2 p.m., they have a thing called Open Hour with a Librarian, where you get to ask librarians questions, and they will give you suggestions for books.
Ah, okay.
My I was gonna say my wife, but I was gonna mess up. My mom was a librarian, and it's a big deal. And librarians have a lot of knowledge, and they're very popular in the library, and they can help you out. And Sam went and asked our questions, so these librarians could load up their knowledge guns and give us some stuff that we might be interested in.
So Cynthia and Rebecca, I'm guessing you guys are librarians, correct?
Rebecca is technically the librarian amongst us. I'm not, but I'm the digital media specialist for the library. So I do our social media accounts. So it's kind of a partnership between Rebecca and I to offer this service to the community every week.
That's awesome.
Gotcha. Now, I have to admit, like, I threw out some subjects. Like, basically Samantha asked me, what are you interested in? And I gave her 3 subjects, and then she wrote them down. And, like, I thought about it. I was like, maybe I should have said something easier.
Are these going to embarrass me? Or are these some of your, like...
No, I mean, what I'm into. So,
I mean, but I know it's
I just didn't, but, like, one of the subjects I was like, I don't know if Orange County Library is going to have a book about this topic.
Like bondage.
No.
You're not going to embarrass me, are you?
No, it's not bad. So, where do we want to start? Do we want to start with Daniel's? I feel like Daniel's is going to be easy.
Was Butler included in this, or was this only the...
No, I just asked you two.
Okay. All right. Were you so you weren't even included?
I opted out.
Yeah, you can start with me then.
All right. So, what were Daniel's topics?
I believe
so. The topics I got for Daniel were, this is a quote, by the way. I do a ton of cooking. Are cookbooks even a thing in the library? Does that get messy?
Yeah, like I wrote that down because like I was like, oh, I'll go get some cookbooks from the library. And then I was like, Well, I usually have my cookbook or even an iPad in front of me while I'm cooking. It's not necessarily like the cleanest place to do. And I was raised to respect books. I know all these dumb songs that my mom talked about.
That's
not, make sure you don't leave the book open. Don't drink next to a book. Return your books. Like all these things that were.
You got bacon grease splattered into the book.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah, you're ruining it.
Yeah, that would be bad.
So I actually can't speak to whether or not they're messy or not. That's probably a circulation question.
Sure.
By the time the books get to me, they've been cleaned up. But the library actually does have a ton of cookbooks. So you didn't give us like specific what type of cooking, what you're into.
Yeah, like Asian food primarily. Yeah, like cooking a lot of Asian dishes.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes it easier. I wish I had known that before.
No, I'm so sorry. That's
okay.
You sound just like my wife.
But we did, if you're into the Asian cooking, I can recommend, so the Namwa Tea Parlor, which is located in New York City. They also have a restaurant, I believe, in Philadelphia that opened not that long ago. They just put out a cookbook that's really interesting. It not only gives you recipes from the restaurant, but it also kind of gives you the backstory for the restaurant. So that could be a good one to check out if you're into the Asian cooking.
That's exactly what I would be looking for. I don't necessarily want something that's just going to hammer me with recipes, but I would like to understand a little bit more origin stories of why we do this when we cook, or how did this particular technique come to fruition, or how old is the cooking technique or the dish. So a little bit of history paired with the recipes would be perfect. That sounds exactly. This library thing's working out, Sam. I'm digging it because this is exactly what I would have wanted.
I've got a library question. Do you ever retire books after a certain amount of time? Or once they're in the system, they're there forever?
We do retire books. We tend to go through our nonfiction on a pretty regular basis. We don't want that stuff to get outdated. So we call it weeding. And every now and then we'll go through and take the things out that are completely outdated, or maybe they've been checked out a few too many times and are no longer looking so good. So we do go through, we take them out. If they look decent, we do send them down. We have a bookstore at the main library, and we'll send them down to the bookstore. The bookstore processes them, and then customers can come in and actually purchase them for like $2-3 a piece.
Huh. Yeah. My mom used to snag a lot of books from the library book sales because in a lot of ways they may not be good for the library, but they're perfect for your home.
What about books that nobody wants? Like, is that a thing where, like, in your system, you're like, we have this one. They
never get checked out.
Yeah, we have this one book nobody's ever read for 5 years. It's got out of here. Like, do you boot it out for
The Uncle Dijon story by Travis Butler?
Does that happen?
That does happen. We do have books that people are just not interested in for one reason or another. Sometimes we keep them just because they kind of tend to get overlooked if they're not getting checked out. That's how we kind of keep track of things, is kind of based on checkout. But a lot of times if they're just never checked out, we come across it and we'll remove it.
I think it would be fun to have a lonely book weekend where you take the 100 least popular books and try to find homes for them, like we do with dogs and cats.
No, okay, like if this book isn't checked out, it'll be burned.
Yeah, we will bolt its head.
Yeah, cremate this book. You have to save it.
Yeah, save this knowledge.
And then people are running there like getting a bunch of books that they didn't even want themselves.
This is weird. This is a bacon-stained cookbook.
So what else besides cooking did Daniel? Because there's 3 subjects, right?
I think I gave 2.
No, you just decided to give 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, I thought you said give 3.
You didn't even read the directions. I put 1 and then a backup. You're like, I'll give you 3 examples.
I thought it was give you 3. Everything comes in 3s.
Yeah, you thought it was a sales call. You give them 3 examples,
right.
And you put the expensive one in the middle because that's the one they picked.
So Dan's other subject was books on video editing or Final Cut.
Yeah.
So that was actually an interesting one to me. For that one, I actually would not recommend a book. The books don't tend to be as updated as other resources. So one of the resources that we do offer through the library, it used to be Linda, now it's called LinkedIn Learning, but they have a whole course on, I wrote it down, on the Final Cut Pro 10, the 10.4.9 essential training.
Yep.
So I would go with that.
That's exactly what I want.
Going with the book.
Okay, awesome. And this is another awesome resource that you guys could provide for me, and that's exactly what I'll do then. Awesome. Perfect.
Rebecca, do you, just from being around books so much and so much of your life, can you remember, like, basically, like, a snapshot of all these things and bring them up, or does it leave
her mind is a...
What? Like, some people can
a-
remember having crazy memories, and, like, so even... like if someone asks you, do we have this book in stock, like you can recall because years ago you came across it at one time, or because me and Daniel's brains don't work like this. We can't even remember what we just recorded 5 minutes ago because it instantly, we could throw it out of our head.
Yeah.
But do you retain that information?
No.
Okay.
There's just too much, especially here. Like our system's so big and we have so many materials, like there's no way. For me, it's more of trying to remember where to get the information as opposed to actually having the information. So that's kind of what I focus on more.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I was kind of leading you guys, too, with my second one because I was kind of hoping you would steer me in the direction of a course because that's how I learn best. So that's awesome. I didn't know if that was something that you guys would do, but I certainly want to get... I'm self-taught, and I just think it's time for me to go a little further and get some actual direction on that. So what were yours, homie? What did you do?
Well, I gave
How
3.
embarrassing
I
were
thought that
these?
was the homework. It was I racked my brain for the third one. We were out there for 5 minutes, and Samantha was
Wait a
like,
minute, you did this with Mommy?
Yeah, I had to help him out because he
You
wouldn't
had
give
to
me an
sit-
answer.
You had to sit over him like...
Well, I made mine themed where it's all the same first
Tom
letter.
went with the 3 G's, his important 3 G's: gambling tips and tricks, gardening, and grumpiness, how to be less grumpy.
You know what? I actually
Gambling,
like
gardening,
these.
and grumpy.
I actually like all of these. I'm not going to bag on it. This is great.
Now, when I threw gambling out, I was like, man, I don't know if they're going to have a book on gambling. Like, that seems like pretty niche.
I don't know. Let's see.
We do. We pretty much have books on anything.
All right.
So no matter how weird you might think your requests are, like I can guarantee we've had weirder. So for gambling, I did find it's The Perfect Bet, How Science and Math Are Taking the Luck Out of Gambling.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, get the edge.
That's what I want.
Rebecca, you hit it out of the park.
I have that tattooed on my stomach like Tupac.
I mean, the idea of getting a book that throws logic and math towards gambling to ruin it,
my whole life.
That's exactly what you like. Awesome.
So is that book on tape? Because I can't read.
Can't read.
So that was the other stipulation, which is harder.
I believe that one is on audio.
All right.
Oh my God! I'm not joking. Hold on. What's that
You
book
have
called?
made him the happiest man. Rebecca, he's in love with you. He's so happy.
What's the name of the book again?
It's called The Perfect Bet, How Science and Math Are Taking the Luck Out of Gambling, and it's by Adam Perchesky, I think is how
Adam
you say his last
Perchesky.
name.
There you go.
Okay, all right.
Wow.
I'm serious. I'm gonna get that book after the show today.
that's
Excited
great.
to hear your
That'll-
review.
And that'll really help the show while my video editing will help the show too.
Well, I need to read this. I gotta get out of here. I need to escape. I'm banging on the doo-doo pipe. I just need to get out. All right, sorry.
Second G.
Gardening. That seemed like I was like, for sure
That's
they're
an
gonna have
easy
a book on gardening.
So that's another broad topic. We can go a lot of different directions for this one. But I actually picked out. We got a new one in. It's fresh this morning. It is called "Grow Food for Free," and it's basically about vegetable and fruit gardening and how you can grow your own produce. So that's a brand new one.
Cool.
We've got a bunch of stuff on Florida and like how to do a native yard, stuff like that, how to grow fruits and vegetables in Florida. So we've got a lot of options in the gardening.
I don't
I
think that
prefer
one's- that one-
invasive species.
Oh my God.
Load my entire yard
They
with
call me
invasive.
Lily Pad Dan.
The whole
Yeah.
like when you drive by my house, you're like, oh, that guy's gonna ruin the world.
Ruin the world.
You know what I'm saying? Like vine crazy.
Anything that shouldn't be here, I specialize in. You know. Stink vine, lily pads,
Yeah. Some big the stink
Yeah.
fish and they eat all the
moss, chiggers, stuff like that. You know. Hey, what's your third?
And then my third one was how to not be so grumpy. This one, I was like,
well, that's more of like psychological. You need to
self-help, positive thinking
kind
of thing.
Get on some medication, do some meditation, talk to a shrink. He's got a lot of death that he hasn't handled.
That doesn't make me grumpy.
This whole studio has a lot of death that hasn't been handled.
It's mainly Butler and my wife. Like I said, like, my kids are fine. You guys are fine. And Butler and my wife that make me the most grumpy.
Okay, so he has two people in it that are ruining his life. Do you have books on that?
Hold on, I heard Scotty laughing.
We got him.
That's my only wish in all these.
We only need one.
Scotty sits there because I'm nervous half the time. I'm like, oh, this is never going to last.
But as soon as I hear a Scotty laugh, I'm like, we did it, baby.
Well, I got one more time. Sorry.
If I can we made Scotty laugh one time.
One more month.
We'll at least get one email back from him.
Sorry, Rebecca.
That's okay. So for the not being so grumpy, there's one called Chatter, the voice in our head, why it matters, and how to harness it. So you can learn how to control your thoughts.
You need a chatter harness.
I had one of those before.
A chatter harness. There's Happiness Hacks, 100% scientific and curiously effective. And then the guy he developed the app, the Headspace app. He actually has a book out. It's called Get Some Headspace, How Mindfulness Can Change Your Life in 10 Minutes a Day.
That guy's great. I
love 10 minutes a day. You can do that, Tom.
Yeah, I love the Headspace app, man. It's good. That's the meditation stuff that Sam and I were doing that we really enjoyed. You did it one time with us, and you said you didn't have time for it anymore. That's a true story.
I got mad. It made me madder. It made me more grumpy.
I was trying not to laugh when I said that. Be serious for you guys. I'm normally not serious, but that is a true story. Sam, we did that. That would be a great one for you because the Headspace thing, Sam and I did it. And we got into it. We got into the actual now. We let our thoughts go up and down like a highway. We didn't impede them with roadblocks or anything. We let them free flow.
Hard to do with Tom's brain.
Yeah. Like now I'm sitting here, everybody's quiet. You're like, breathe. I'm like, oh, it's making me mad.
But you don't have to.
I hate breathing.
Do any of you guys meditate?
Yep.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, see, Scotty meditates.
It's because when
Rebecca, Cynthia, they look like smart, young.
I'm not as consistent as Scotty, but it's a work in progress. Tom, don't feel too bad. I am also working on the grumpy thing, so I'm usually the guy with the laundry basket.
I knew that's why I mentioned it because that's a grumpy move. You're like, I'm showing these people my laundry.
Like my laundry's put away, but my husband's is back there.
When we get to talk to our library friends, it's my favorite. I don't laugh harder than when we get to talk to our library friends because I don't understand why it works, but it works for me.
Also, in these a lot of the times where it's like, be a happier person. Here's what you need to do. Take some walks in the afternoon. Enjoy the birds. I'm like, who's got time for that? I'm like, I got time for enjoying the birds. But I'm stressed.
Now, are most of these are these physical books, digital copies? How would we acquire these, or do you have both? Or
so I tried to pick ones that are available in different formats. So all of these are available through our catalog. All of them are physical. Most of them should also be available in audio and ebook form as well.
I'm going to start giving reviews of books that my wife has checked out from the Orange County library system.
Okay.
And then she tells me about them. Right now, I'm not reading the Mariah Carey biography. She's reading it and telling me about it. And
it's just the same.
And man, is she making my wife mad with all the time she goes in there and talks about how she is a pioneer of 90s pop music. It's really making my wife mad. So there's my update. She's almost done with it. I think we have 8 days left on this checkout.
Guys, let me ask you this question because I wonder if you run into this. I feel like you see a lot of people in the world, either the social, whatever, they're paying money for stuff or they're like spending all this time and effort to try to find something. And it's like you guys provide it all and there's like all these services and these books and this knowledge.
So you're saying they see a lot of stupid people.
Well, I'm just saying like most people, I feel like they don't know about all the services and information. Yeah. And then like that you guys have available for free for the most part, and most people are going out there and spending money and going through expensive courses or like buying stuff that you guys have available for free.
I don't buy children's books. I don't. I get the
It's all
books
it's all
that
there.
Maisie gets, the ones that we read every night. We're reading one now that actually was and you guys, the librarian, will be able to. I think Rebecca will help me. I believe it's a Newbery winner, and it's called Roller Girl, and I think a Newbery that's not Caldecott is illustration, correct?
Yes, Caldecott's illustration.
Yeah,
Newberry's for the words.
Yeah, and this is a Newbery winner, and it's a really good book. It addresses it's about this young girl that's like Maisie's age that wants to be a roller derby girl, and then it deals with divorce, and it's kind of heavy subject, but it's a great book, and I don't have to spend a dime, man. It comes right to me.
It just seems like if you have your Orange County Library card, you can go and educate yourself on any topic, infinite. And you can have as much education as you want on that topic. It's unlimited.
Dad like me.
Yeah. Is that the case, guys?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's over and over again. We're letting people know that the things that are available here for free, and audiobooks, ebooks are a really good example. People are constantly surprised that those are things that you can get here for free. And LinkedIn Learning, which Rebecca mentioned earlier, people pay for that, and they don't need to with their Orange County Library System card. And that's why we're lucky to have you all to have us on to continue to spread the word.
I heard you hesitate there. There is no time. I didn't want to call you out. I love you too much to not be honest with you, Scotty. And I heard you go, and that's why we
That's called getting
That
yourself
is not the case.
That's
I
called
love y'all.
That's called psyching yourself up to jump in the cold pool. You got to do a couple breathing exercises before you get in there.
And on the other hand, we're also Cynthia and I are fairly lucky because it's our job to make sure that people know about this stuff, and as long as we can find people who don't know, then we have jobs. So.
Yeah, it's definitely job security, but I agree with you. I think I've worked for the library for 10 years now, and one thing that I will always feel about my time at the library is that I'm better for it because I may not have known all those things even just as an Orange County resident, if not for working in the system and constantly being exposed to all that we have. I know sometimes convenience can be a barrier for people, like, oh, well, it takes 5 extra steps to get it from the library versus just the one step with this app. But for me, I feel like it's a public good and a good way to do something in my community by supporting the library. And to Dan's point, also saving a little bit of money along the way.
Yeah, well, you also, I don't think, the things that we are gifted as a state, as a county, whatever, I believe that you have to use those things in order to continue to get more and bigger and better. And it is only the need of that, and if that doesn't thrive, then I don't necessarily think that they want to put more money in. So the more people we can get using it, but we don't want to do that great of a job, right? I mean, that's what I heard.
Also, imagine being proud of the place you work for.
Like we
are every day.
What a feeling!
Our employees are like, I'm wasting my life.
What does that feel like? Cynthia, what does it feel like?
To come in and be like, wow, I'm making a difference today.
Cynthia, when you say to someone, yeah, I work for Orange County Public Library System, like when you say that and their eyes light up and they smile, what does that feel like?
It's a great feeling, Dan.
Well,
you should try.
You and I'll never get that. We'll never get that.
The feeling I get when I come to work is like dumping a small cup of oil into the ocean. It's like I'm not really doing that bad, but it's a little bit bad.
Yeah, and it's certainly not good.
No. Like it's doing some harm.
It's not gonna kill a whale instantly, but it contributes to the cancer he'll get later.
Yeah, and enough cups is real bad. And then you are looking back, you're like, that's a lot of cups. I've done real bad.
Well, then it's just a drum.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, guys. OCLS.info for all information, and just go out and get your Orange County Library card. That's the key for all of this. You need that first.
That is the keys. Check out the website and do it. Anything else you guys want us to throw out there into Radioland?
I just want to remind people that we were doing open hour on Thursdays at 2:00 on Twitter and Facebook. We've since moved it to Instagram, and it happens every Tuesday on Instagram stories. So it's really easy. You just pop in your personal information and preferences into the little question sticker every Tuesday, and it's there for 24 hours. And if you happen to miss it one week, we'll be doing it again the next week. Rebecca will always respond to our customers within a week or less, and you'll get your recommendations personalized and in your inbox.
And we should also remind people that the summer reading program is kicking off. There are a ton of programs and events for people of all ages, including the adults. And that starts on May 30th, but registration is open now.
There you go.
He had adults for me. I heard.
Scotty has a lot of things for you.
Yeah, he's like, adults are welcome. I'm like, okay.
I'm pretty sure Scotty's here for you. Like, I think he's like, is Tom going to be there? Yeah, well, I'll be on the line so you guys are safe.
Oh, yeah, he's like that ghost caddy that helps me
Bagger
through my
Vance.
He's like with the real Bagger
I
Vance.
would, yeah, no.
No, that's
He's nothing like Bagger.
All right, Scotty, Rebecca, Cynthia, thank you very much.
Thank you all.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys. See ya.
Oh, we can't talk about Bagger Vance anymore. I don't know.
I don't know. I just said that to freak you out.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh my God, they canceled it. I didn't know.
No, it's totally fine.
I didn't know.
I just said that to see what you'd say, and then I looked at them, and they thought I was serious. Everyone thinks I'm serious. Why do people think I'm ever serious?
I don't know.
When have I ever been serious? Tell me.
I don't know.
If you can point it out, then I'll.
Well, it's all over the place. Sometimes it's real, sometimes it's not. I don't know which way.
I don't think I've ever been real.
Sometimes it's real, and I'm like, oh, that's real. All right, bye-bye.